Okay. Hi guys. We're doing another stream. This is my first time doing a stream, at least on my new computer, because I never done this. I imported all my information I needed to go on this one, because now I'm on my new PC I got recently, so we're trying it out today. I think am I... God damn it, I didn't even hit the record button. Hi guys, it's me. No, this is bad, we're already delayed. Oh no. It's fine, we're okay. It's only by like a few seconds, but... Right, so hi guys, we're doing a stream today, because I wanted to try out the, oh my gosh, the streaming on this computer, because why the fuck not? We're gonna have fun with this, because I need to figure out, I wanted to make sure all that was working and whatnot, but yeah, just waiting for people to come in. We're gonna read the Odyssey again today. I have time today because, one, I don't have any homework, my finals are done, I don't have to worry about shit, so I can, like, actually, read stuff and do things. And secondly, there's no second, I have free time and able to do this, so, as per usual. What's actually, okay, so before we begin, I just recently installed the new update for OBS, and I really like, they integrated the new, or they updated on the streaming stuff. So now, I don't have to use a separate monitor. I have a YouTube control panel, and I can see the chat. So, while I don't need to have my iPad or anything, just whatever the hell I use. I know people are, this is like falling on deaf ears, and there's like absolutely nobody here right now, which is fine. I don't expect people to hop in here right away. Excuse me, I am tired. I had a long day yesterday, but I'm going to be reading the Odyssey because I gotta catch up on it. Let's see here. I'm gonna quickly put in the chat right now. Okay, I'm like, in my Discord, I'm putting like, I'm reading the Odyssey live again. Oh shit. My friend did not see that I'm currently, let's see, I'm gonna send a link to my Discord and, you know, make sure that I am sending it out there. I hope my thing is live right now. There we go. I'm gonna send a link to this. Oh, never mind. Okay, cool. It's actually not delayed as much. I thought it was for a second, but well, there's one person that's joining in on the fun there now. And I get a feeling that is somebody that I know. That's mostly half of the time that, or most of the time, or any at all. Oh, I forgot to send the link. Whoops. Teehee. Yeah, there we go. I just had to put that out in case if somebody, wants to come in and join on the fun, but we're going to, as usual, per usual, put on some gently calm waves. And, yeah, just to get some visual in here. Just because. We need it. Let me transform and put this into fit the screen. There we go. I figured that shortcut, so I don't have to worry about it next time when I do it. It's so pretty. So yeah, that's great. I actually can have OBS open and I can look at the chat while people watch it. Moderation activity, timestamps, yeah, why not? Reactions, yeah, why not? I don't know, I don't really have mods to look after my comments. I don't think I really need any of those people. Okay. I know I'm talking to a brick wall right now, but how's everybody doing? For me, I'm doing fine. For myself, I am doing good right now. I'm graduating in like 3 days, so that's one thing. People ask me like, "Oh, are you excited?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but also no." Yes, because I finally get to go home and do all the get started on the projects I wanted to do, and I have a little bit of free time, which is great, and I don't have to like rush anything, at least. And then the other part of me is like, no, I don't want to go. I don't want to. It's that part of the back of my head that's like, I don't want to do this, Grandpa. I'm tired. I don't want to go. I have friends. So it's kind of like I'm divided on it. You know, that splitting like feeling. Is anybody online right now? I mean, it is a Tuesday at 7 o'clock at night Eastern time, so yeah, there's gonna be nobody around. Everyone's just kind of dead. That's okay though. I can start reading then, because otherwise, I can just, wait until people start popping in and then be like, yo! Gonna loop that. Okay, so as usual, we're gonna... This audio's really fucking loud. I'll keep it at 10, at least, or something like that. Right. So while we have that going on, I'm gonna start reading the book. Ah! Oh, good lord. Got wires everywhere. You good? Awesome. So last time we were reading the book, which was, I don't know, maybe a few weeks ago by this point? I don't remember. Refresh, duh. Okay, the control panel, I have it open. Alright, chat rate, yep. All that fun stuff. So, whatever people feel comfortable. Alright. Let's skadoosh it, or skadoodle into the story. Oh, Maccabee! Oh, hi! Sorry, I caught you at the end of Tale of Work. Good on you. You came right on time. I was just about to read the book. Or start reading the book. I was just discussing that. Oh, I'm gonna wait until people kind of smooth in or come in while I'm reading the book. Oh, my nose. I'm having a latte right now. And it's kind of making my nose runny, which is typical. But... So we're on book 6. We're on book 16 right now. That's kind of where we're at. I forget what we read. I think we've read from like 12 to 16 last time, or was it 14 to 16? I don't remember. But we stopped at 16 because it's XVI, so I'm assuming that's 16, following the Roman numerals. That's odd. What's odd again? Sorry. The chat's a bit delayed. Are you talking about, like, the latte comment? Yeah, let me see how many. Oh, we got notes on the back. So this is like. So I think it's 26 in total. Yeah, 26 books in total. Because there's notes at the end too that I think that go into detail and explaining more. Yes, sorry, just doing last minute things. Yeah, no, no problem. Whatever you need to do. I can wait. I can wait. I'm pretty patient compared to most people. Should I just go ahead and just read it? Or read on, or whatever, however you want to do it? Ugh. So if you hear me sniffling a lot, then... And done. Woo! Great! Awesome. So if you hear... So, disclaimer, if you hear me sorry. If you hear me sniffing a lot, that's just me, because my body is repeating the latte I'm drinking right now, because the Starbucks I ordered it at, they put the wrong milk, so they gave me 2 lattes, and now I'm just drinking 2 of them, which is not exactly ideal, but I didn't want to waste them, so... Oh, my friend finally got back to me. I went to Bath & Body Works today, and I got her, like, this little, first aid kit, like, little... like hand sanitizer holder, and it's and considering she's a nursing student, I got it for her. And they actually had a sale going on today where, like, if you buy like 3 things, you could have given one to a friend. Well, I didn't know who to give because my roommate is I didn't see any people, and plus my roommate's like lactose intolerant, so it's hard. Like I can't. But yeah, so basically but back to the little sanitizer thing. It's like a nursing first aid thing. I'm like, you know what, she likes this, I'll give it to her. I don't think she ever, I don't know if she has a hand sanitizer or holder, or I forgot she does, I don't know, but she's liking it. I'm glad. Okay, without further ado, let's get on to the Odyssey. That's what we're here to do. So last time we, so it looks like, oh gosh, what was the guy's name that, Odysseus talked to? Where the guy that he really liked, like the guy that like really liked Odysseus, like, I miss this guy, and then he comes back, he's like, no, he's dead. He like believed he's actually fucking dead. Eurymachus, yeah, that guy. Okay, wait, how do you even say that name? It's like that one guy that like tends, it's like a farmer, you know? There's this painting of them, the two, is really funny. Pronunciation. These Greek names again.
Eumaeus.
That was close. Eumaeus. Alright. Eumaeus! He's dead. Eumaeus is like the guy's like, I love this dude. Oops. I went too far back. Alright, let's go ahead and read 16, which says, Odysseus reveals himself to Telemachus. That's gonna be crazy, because that didn't really happen in the musical. Again, I know that the musical isn't not really in like one-on-one adaptation. Okay, I gotta drive home. We go on and read. Okay, cool. You can catch up whenever you want to, Mag. I'll see you later. So the last time this is gonna be interesting. So Telemachus and Odysseus, in the musical, they like didn't have a moment as much. I guess this is like different. So, oh my gosh. Okay, I'm trying to set this up so I cannot crane my neck. All right. All right. So Magby's gone for now. I don't know. Current view. Okay. All right. So, meanwhile, Odysseus and the swineherd had lit a fire in the hut and were going to get breakfast ready at daybreak, for they had set the men out with the pigs. When Telemachus came up, the dogs did not bark, but fawned upon him. So Odysseus, hearing the sound of feet and noticing that the dogs did not bark, he said to Eumaeus, "Eumaeus, I hear footsteps. I suppose one of your men or someone of your acquaintance is coming here, for the dogs are fawning upon him and not barking." The words were hardly out of his mouth before his son stood at the door. Eumaeus sprang to his feet, and the bowls in which he was mixing wine fell from his hands, and as he made towards his master, he kissed his head and both his beautiful eyes and wept for joy. A father could not be more delighted at the return of an only son, the child of his old age, after 10 years' absence in a foreign country and having gone through much hardship. He embraced him, kissed him all over as though he had come back from the dead, and spoke fondly to him, saying, "So you are come, Telemachus, light of my eyes that you are. When I heard you had gone to Pylos, I made sure I was never going to see you any more. Come in, my dear child, and sit down, that I may have a good look at you now that you're home again. It is not very often you come to the country you see as herdsmen. You stick pretty close to the town generally. I suppose you think it's better to keep an eye on what the suitors are doing." "So be it, old friend," answered Telemachus, "but I am come now because I want to see you, and to learn whether my mother is still at her old home, and whether someone else has married her, so that the bed of Odysseus is without bedding is covered in cobwebs." "She's still at the house," replied Eumaeus, "grieving and breaking her heart, and doing nothing but weep both night and day continually." That's really sad. Poor Penelope, bro. And as he spoke, he took Telemachus' spear, whereon he crossed the stone and threshold and came inside. Odysseus rose from his seat to give him place as he entered, but Telemachus checked him. "Sit down, stranger," said he. "I can easily find another seat, and there is one here who would lay it for me." Oh. His dad's trying to help him out, but he doesn't know it's him. Oh. Odysseus went back to his own place, and Eumaeus strewed some green brushwood on the floor and threw a sheepskin on top of it for Telemachus to sit upon. Then the swineherd brought them platters of cold meat and the remains from what they had eaten the day before, and filled the bread baskets with bread as fast as he could. He mixed wine also in bowls of ivy wood, and took a seat facing Odysseus. Then they laid their hands on the good things that there were before them. And as soon as they had enough to eat, there's two hads in here, I'm sorry, had enough to eat and drink, Telemachus said to Eumaeus, "My old friend, where does this stranger come from, and how did his crew bring him to Ithaca, and who are they? For assuredly he did not come here by land." To this you answered, "O swineherd Eumaeus, my son, I will tell you the truth. He says he's a Cretan, and that he has been a great traveler. At this moment he's running away from a Thesprotian ship and has taken refuge at my station, so I will put him in your hands. Do whatever you like with him, only remember that he is your supplement." I am very much distressed, said Telemachus, by what you have just told me. How can I take this stranger into my house? I am yet young, and I am not strong enough to hold my own if any man attacks me. My mother cannot make up her mind whether to stay where she is and look after the house out of respect for public opinion and the memory of her husband, or whether the time is now to come for her to take the best man of those who are wooing her, and the one who will make her the most advantageous offer. Still, as the stranger had come to your station, I will find him a cloak and a shirt of good wear, with a sword and sandals, and will send him wherever he wants to go. Or if you like, you can keep him here at the station, and I will send him clothes and food, that he may not be no burden on you and your men. I will not have him let go near the suitors, for they are very insolent, and they are sure to ill-thread him in a way that they could greatly grieve me, no matter how valiant a man may be, he can do nothing against numbers, and for they will be too strong for him. Then Odysseus said, Sir, it is right that I should say something myself. I'm very much shocked about what you have said about the insolent way in which the suitors are behaving, and despite of such a man as you are. Tell me, do you submit to such treatment tamely, or has some god set your people against you? May you not complain of your brothers, for it is to these that a man may look for support, however great his quarrel may be. I wish I were as young as you and in my present mind. If I were the son to Odysseus, or indeed Odysseus himself, I would rather someone came and cut my head off. But I would go to the house and be the bane of every one of these men. If they were too many for me, I being single-handed, I would rather die fighting in my own house and see such a disgraceful sights day after day, strangers and grossly maltreated, and men dragging the women servants about the house in an unseemly way, wine drawn recklessly, and wine's waste all to no purpose for an end that shall never be accomplished. Damn, they talked in long-ass sentences. Basically, Telemachus is like, I don't want this stranger in my house. He's gonna beat the fuck out of me. I'm scared. And Odysseus is like, if I were you, kid, I would be doing this shit. And Telemachus answered, I will tell you truly everything. There is no enmity between me and my people, nor I can complain of brothers, who a man may look for support, however great his quarrel may be. Zeus has made us a race of only sons. Latres was the only son of Estrius, and it's a Greek name again, and Odysseus, the only son of Latrides, or whatever I think. I am myself the only son of Odysseus, who left me behind him. I am myself the only son of Odysseus, who left me behind him when he went away, so that I have never been any of use to him. Hence it comes that my house is in the hands of numerous marauders, for the chiefs from the neighboring islands, Dulichium, Sam, Zazintheus, and also all the principal men of Ithaca itself, are eating up my house under the pretext of paying court to my mother, who will neither say point blank that she will not marry, nor yet bring matters to an end, so that they are making havoc of my estate, and before long will do so with myself into the bargain. The issue, however, rests with heaven. But do you, old friend Eumaeus, go at once and tell Penelope that I am safe and I have returned from Pylos. Tell it to herself alone, and then come back here without letting anyone else know, for there are many who are plotting mischief against me. I understood and heed you, replied Eumaeus. You need instruct me no further. As long as I'm going that way, say whether I had not better let poor Latres know that you are returned. He used to He used to superintend the work on his farm in the spite of his bitter sorrow about Odysseus, but he would eat and drink at will all along with his servants, but they tell me from that day on which you set out for Pylos that he's neither eaten or drunk as he ought to do, nor does he look after his farm, but sits weeping and wasting the flesh off of it from his bones. More's the pity, answered Telemachus. I'm sorry for him, but we must leave him to himself now. If people could have everything their own way, the first thing I should choose would be the return of my father. But go and give your message, and then make haste back again, and do not turn out of your way to tell Latres. Tell my mother to send one of her women secretly with the news at once, and let him hear it from her. Thus he did urge the swineherd. Eumaeus therefore took his sandals, bound him to his feet, and started for the town. Athena watched him well off the station, and then came up to it to. Athena watched him well off the station, then came up to it in the form of a woman, fair, stately, and wise. She stood against the side of the entry, and revealed herself to Odysseus, but Telemachus could not see her, and knew that not she was there, but for the gods do not let themselves be seen by everybody. Ugh. Family drama like this is hilarious but wholesome. Yeah. Yeah. I love Eumaeus, whatever his name is. He's just chill. He just wants to take care of his farm, bro. He's just like, okay, whatever you say, my boy. Like, he's that one uncle that everyone knows. Like, you know what I'm saying? Oh my gosh. Let's see here. Odysseus saw her, so did the dogs, for they did not bark, but went scared and whining off to the other side of the yards. They're like, what is this person? I don't want to do it. These poor ducks, man. I mean, not ducks. I mean, dogs. Farm work is important. Yeah, they're underrated. Dude, farmers are underrated. They don't get enough credit for what they do for people, like, with food and all that stuff. It's, like, crazy. She nodded her head and motioned to Odysseus with her eyebrows, whereon he left the hut and stood before her outside the main wall of the yards. Then she said to him, Odysseus, noble son of Latres, now it is time for you to tell your son. Do not keep him in the dark any longer, but lay your plans for the destruction of the suitors, and then make for the town. I will not be long in joining you, for I'm too eager for the fray. She's like, I want to fight already. Get on with it. Get your little sentimental bullshit and get on with it. I want to do action. You know what I'm saying? Athena is literally Ivor if Ivor was like, you know, a woman or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to do this already. Sorry, I'm going back with the story mode connections. This is way too like season 2 of story mode, I swear, because it's like the admin's like the the fucking like the suitors, and then you got like Jesse being in this disguise bullshit because well I know that Romeo did disguise him, but like in terms of like the sneaking around and shit and then revealing himself, you know what I'm saying? Like it's really on the nose. Athena's that Ivor woman that looked like Jesse thought was Ivor. Yeah. That person. Athena's like... Oh, I love it. As she spoke, she touched him with her golden wand. Her golden wand? You mean a staff? A staff is cooler. What do you mean a wand? Oh, yeah, he did do that once. He did do that. Because everyone was convinced that was him. So he was like, this is too easy. You know, speaking of Jesse, have you ever seen the beta version of him where he had like dark eyes and dark hair and like these black eyes almost and like these I think brown suspenders? Wand and staff were interchangeable. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, the beta stuff. That's crazy. Can you imagine, like, I was thinking about the story again, and I was like, you know, it'd be really interesting if Jesse, like, literally in the whole, like, there's this whole cult arc in the second, like, half of season 1. Well, actually, no. Second half of season 1 in, like, the first half of season 2, there's, like, this whole cult thing. You know where I'm going with this, with the whole suitors thing. There's gonna be, like, kind of the similar plot there. And I was thinking of, like, if they're sneaking in to go after the fucking cultists, Jesse, like, disguises himself as, like, a little Easter egg. If this was animated, it would be, like, him being disguised as his old, like, fucking beta bullshit, and then it's like, oh, he fucking wears contacts or some shit like that. He's like, you know what, I'm enough of this, I'm tired of this fucking bullshit. But yeah, I would love to draw beta Jesse at some point, because I really want to, because he's really interesting. It's really interesting how, what they did with, like, the beta shit with story mode. Like, it's really crazy how, like, all this shit's coming out, and I really want to know what the old storyline was, what they were going with, because there's a bunch of, like, cutscenes and stuff that would have made the game a little bit better, to be honest, you know what I'm saying? It would have been nice to have that. Please do, yeah, I'm totally gonna draw him eventually, I really want to. Maybe Beta Lucas as well, because that's an interesting one too. Anyway, back to the scheming. The suitor scheming. First he drew a fair, clean shirt and cloak about his shoulders, talking about Odysseus. And the old storyline where Aiden was an actor could have been actual nice. I know, it's weird, it's like another alternate timeline or some shit like that, but no, they had to change it. I can see Aiden being a fan of Epic the Musical. Like, I can totally see it. Like, given the fact they were theater kids. I think Matthew Mercer was a theater kid. He's a theater kid, actually. I believe, when he was growing up. Beta Cowboy, and yep, pretty much he was. Let's see. First she threw a fair clean shirt and cloak about his shoulders, then she made him look younger and more of an imposing presence. She gave him back his color, felt his cheeks, let his beard become dark again. And then she went away, and Odysseus came back inside the hut. His son was astounded when he saw him and turned his eyes away for fear that he might be looking upon a god. He's like, oh god, like, that's so sweet. I love Telemachus in this. He's like, like, he's my age, so I'd be like the same fucking thing. I'd be like, oh my god. Stranger, said he, how suddenly have you changed from what you were a moment or two ago? You're dressed differently and your color's not even the same. Are you someone or other of the gods that live in heaven? If so, be oh my gosh, these freaking words. You can see why. You can tell I have not read a lot of books in my years so far, which is not a good thing. Considering I'm a writer, I need. How do you say this word? They spoken like long.
Propitious.
Propitious. Okay, cool. Propitious. So be propitious to tell me till I can make you do sacrifice and offerings of a wrought god. Have mercy upon me. He's like, have mercy, please. I don't know who you are. He thinks his dad is a god. He thinks his father. Oh my god. And Odysseus said, I am no god. Why should you take me for one? I am your father. Telemachus, I am your father. On whose account you grieve and suffer so much at the hands of lawless men. As he spoke, he kissed his son, and a tear fell on his cheek onto the ground. For he had restrained all the tears until now. Dude, that's so sad. Oh my god, Odie. Give this man back his son. And he finally gets his son back. and then get him his wife. But Telemachus could not have yet believed that this was his father, and said, "You are not my father, but some god is flattering me with vain hopes that I may grieve the more thereafter. And no mortal man could of himself contrive to do as you have been doing, and make yourself old and young at a moment's notice, unless a god were with him. A second ago you were old and all in rags, now you are some god come from heaven." Odysseus answered, "Telemachus, you ought not to be so immeasurably astonished at my being really here. There is no other Odysseus who will come thereafter. Much as I am, it is I who, after long wanderings with much hardship, have gotten home with the 20th year to my own country." Damn, 20 fucking years. "What you wonder is at work of the redoubtable goddess Athena, who does with me whatever she will, for she can do what she pleases. At one moment she makes me like a beggar, and then the next I'm a young man with good clothes on my back, and it is an easy matter for the gods who live in heaven to make any man look either rich or poor." As he spoke, he sat down, and Telemachus threw his arms around his father and wept. They were both had. It's the longest dialogue. Basically, it's he's like, "I'm your dad, son. I'm home." And then Telemachus is like, "I don't believe it, dude. How are you my fucking dad?" And then he's like, "Dude, you know about Athena, right? Like she." So, like, he knows Athena. That was the way to convince his father, and Odysseus and Telemachus are reunited, though. It's so cute. Father and son are back. They were both so much moved that they cried aloud like eagles or vultures with crooked talons that had been robbed of their half-fledged young by peasants. Oh my god. Can you imagine how that would sound like? They'd be like, like I think that's what they sound like. They're ugly crying. That's what Thus pretentiously they weep, and the sun would have gone down upon their mourning if Telemachus had not suddenly said, "In what ship, my dear father, did your crew bring you to Ithaca? Of what nation did they declare themselves to be? For you cannot have come by land." "I will tell you the truth, my son," replied Odysseus. "It was the Phoenicians who brought me here. They're great sailors, and are in the habit of giving escorts to anyone who reaches their coasts. They took over the sea while I was fast asleep and landed me in Ithaca, after giving me many presents in bronze, gold, and raiment. These things by heaven's mercy are lying concealed in a cave, and now I have come here on the suggestion of Athena that we may consult about killing our enemies. First, therefore, give me a list of the suitors with their number, that I may learn who and how many there are. I can then turn the matter over in my mind and see whether we too can fight the whole body of them ourselves, or whether we must find others to help us." Right? It's the best father and son reunion. I love it. I love it so much. This is really interesting how, compared to like how the musical adapted its way around, this sort of stuff. To this Telemachus answered, "Father, I've always heard of your renown both in the field and council, but the task you talk is of a very great one. I'm awed at the mere thought of it. 2 men cannot stand against many and brave ones. There are not 10 suitors only, nor twice 10, but 10 many times over. You shall learn their number at once." Literally, Odysseus like, "Give me a fucking list. Where the fuck are they? What are they gonna do with my son? I'm gonna kill them all." Fucking. Let's see. There were 52 chosen youths from Dulichium. They have 6 servants from Som. There are 20 young Achaeans from Zythnius, these Greek names, and 12 from Ithaca itself. All of them were well born. They have with them a servant Meodon, a bard, and 2 men who can carve at a table. If we face such numbers as this, you may have bitter cause to rue your coming and your revenge. See whether you cannot think of someone who would be willing to come and help us." "Listen to me," replied Odysseus, "and think whenever Athena and her father Zeus may seem sufficient, or whether I am to try and find someone else as well. Whom have you named? Answered Telemachus. Are a couple of good allies, for though they dwell high up among the clouds, they have power over gods and men. These two, continued Odysseus, will not keep long out of the fray, when the suitors will join and fight in my house. Now therefore... Wait, did I skip a page? No. Now, therefore return home early tomorrow morning and go about among the suitors as before. So basically he's like, just continue on what you were doing. Later the swineherd will bring me to the city disguised as a miserable old beggar. If you see him ill-treating me, steel your heart against my sufferings, even though they drag me feet foremost out of the house, or throw things on me. Look on and do nothing beyond gently trying to make them behave more reasonably, but they will not listen to you, for the day of their reckoning is at hand. Furthermore, I say, I lay my... I love he's just like, I'm loving this positive father and stuff. I know, like, literally, Odysseus like, okay, listen, don't give a shit when people are throwing crap at me. As much as I get beaten and bruised, don't give a shit. Just keep on going. Like, ignore it, because they're not gonna listen to you. Oh, man. Furthermore, I say, and lay my saying to your heart, when Athena shall put it in my mind, I will nod my head to you, and on seeing me do this, you must collect all the armor that is in the house and hide it in the strong storeroom. Oh, I see, so that's where that... While we were busy plotting, he hid our weapons inside this room. I find it hard to believe the sharpness of kings have his armory on a lot. So what? Now that we have armed ourselves, let's make the bastard rot. I love that song so much. Make some excuse when the suitors ask you, why are you removing it? Say that you have taken it to be out of the way of the smoke. Inasmuch as it is no longer to what it was when Odysseus went away, but has become soiled and begrimed with soot. Add to this more particularly that you are afraid Zeus may set them on the quarrel over their wine, and that they may do each other some harm when which may disgrace both banquet and wooing, for the sight of arms sometimes tempts to people to use them. But leave a sword and a spear, a piece for yourself and me, and a couple of ox-hide shields, so that we can snatch him up at any moment. Zeus and Athena will then soon quiet these people. That's interesting. Zeus came into the party too? Like, the hell? The fuck? Like, I like if Zeus is just there, he's just like, y'all gonna die, bro. There is also another matter. If you're indeed my son, and my blood runs in... If you're indeed my son, and my blood runs in your veins, let no one know that Odysseus is within the house. Neither Latres, nor yet the swineherd, nor any of the servants, or nor even Penelope herself. Dude, his father's still alive? Sheesh. I like how Odysseus' father is just sitting there, like, he's just like, what the fuck? Oh my god, my son's home. Oh my Jove or Zeus, it's my son. Grandfather, we have dad's back home. What? Latres are within the swineherds. Let you and me exploit the women alone, and let us also make trial of some other the men's servants, to see who is on our side and whose hand is against us. Father, replied Telemachus, you will come to know me by, and when you do, you will find that I can keep your counsel. I do not think, however, the plan you propose will turn out well for either of us. Think it over. It will take us a long time to go around the farms and exploit the men, and all the time the suitors will be wasting your estate with impunity and without compunction. Prove the women that by all means to see who are disloyal and who is guiltless, but I am not in favor of going around and trying the men. We can attend to that later on, if you really have some sign from Zeus that he will support you. Thus they did converse, and meanwhile the ship which had brought Telemachus and his crew from Pylos and reached the town of Ithaca. When they had come inside the harbor, they drew the ship onto the land, and their servants came and took their armor from them, and they left all the presents at the house of Cyatus. Then they sent a servant to tell Penelope that Telemachus had gone to the country, but had sent the ship to the town to prevent her from being alarmed and made unhappy. This servant and Eumaeus had happened to meet when they were both on the same errand of going to tell Penelope. When they reached the house, the servant stood up and said to the queen in presence of, but Eumaeus went up close to Penelope, and probably all that her son had been him to tell her. When he had given his message, he left the house with its surroundings and went back to his pigs again. The suitors were surprised and angry about what happened, so they went outside of the great wall and ran around the outer court, and held a council near the main entrance. Eurymachus, I think I'm pretty close. Hang on a second, I'm looking this shit up. It's close to Eurylochus, but it's not. Eurymachus? I think that's one of the suitors, yeah, for sure. It's definitely one of the suitors. Just forgot how you pronounce the name. Eurymachus, yeah, close enough. Eurymachus, son of Polybus, was the first to speak. My friends, said, this voyage of Telemachus is a very serious matter. We had made sure that it would come to nothing. Now, however, let us draw a ship into the water and get a crew together to send after the others and tell them to come back as fast as they can. He had hardly done speaking when Amphinomus turned in his place and saw the ship inside the harbor, with the crew lowering her sails and putting by their oars. So he laughed and said to the others, We need not to send them any message, for they are here. Some god must have told them, or else they saw the ship go by and could not overtake her. On this, they rose and went to the water side. The crew then drew the ship onto the shore. Their servants took their armor from them, and they went up in a body to the palace of the assembly. Oh, not palace, place. Wait. This he rose and went back to the water side. The crew then drew the ship on shore. Their servants took their armor from them, and they went up in a body to the place of assembly, but they could not let anyone old or young sit along with them. And Antinius, there's Antinius, that asshole. Oh boy, we all know him. Son of Eupeithes spoke first. Good heavens, said he, see how the gods have saved his man from destruction. We kept a succession of scouts upon the headlands all day long when the sun was down, and we never met on shore to sleep, but waited in the ship all night till morning in the hope of capturing and killing him. But some god has conveyed him home in despite of us. Let us consider how we can make an end of him. He must not escape us. Our affair is never likely to come off while he's alive, for he is very shrewd, and public feeling is, and by no means, all on our side. We must make haste before he can call the Achaeans in assembly. He will lose no time in doing so, for he will be furious with us, and he will tell the world how we plotted to kill him, but failed to take him. The people will not like this when they know of it. We must see that they do to us no hurt, no drive us from our own country to exile. Let us try and lay hold of him, either on his farm away from the town, or on the road hither. Then we can divide up his property amongst us, and let his mother and the man who marries her have to leave the house. If this does not please you, and you wish to tell Telemachus to live on and hold his father's property, that we must not gather here and eat up his goods in this way, but must make our offers to Penelope, each from his own house, and she can marry the man who will give the most for her, and whose lot it is to win her. They all held their peace, and then Amphinomus arose to speak. He was the son of Neasus, who was the son to King Eritreus, and he was the foremost among all the suitors from the wheat-growing and well-grassed island of Diliculum. These fucking names. His conversation, moreover, was more agreeable to Penelope than any of the other suitors, for he was a man of good natural disposition. My friends, said he, speaking to them plainly in all honesty, I am not in favor of killing Telemachus. It is a heinous thing to kill one who is of noble blood. Let us first take counsel of the gods, and if he oracles of Zeus to advise it, I will both help to kill him myself, and will urge everyone to do so. But if they dissuade us, I would have you hold your hands. Thus he did speak, and his words pleased them well, so they rose forthwith and went to the house of Odysseus, where they took their accustomed seats. Then Penelope resolved that she would show herself to the suitors. She knew about the plot against Telemachus, for the servant Medon had overheard the counsels and had told her. She went down forward to the court intended by her maidens, and when she reached the suitors, she stood by the bearing posts of supporting the roof of the closeted building, a veil before her face, and rebuked Antonius, saying, Antonius, Antonius, insolent and wicked schemer, they say that you are the best speaker in the council of any man in your own age in Ithaca, but you are nothing of the kind. Madman, why would you should try to compass the death of Telemachus, and heed no supplements for witnesses Zeus himself? It is not right for you to plot thus against one another. Do you not remember how your father fled to this house in fear of the people, who were enraged against him for having gone with some Taphian pirates and plundered the Thesprotians who were at peace with us? They wanted to tear him to pieces and eat up everything they had, but Odysseus stayed in their hands, although they were infuriated. And now you devour his property without paying for it, and break my heart by wooing his wife into killing his son. Leave off doing so and stop the others also. She's like, you were gonna kill my fucking son? How dare you? You crazy fucking mad bitch! Like they say it very in long form. Oh my gosh. To this, Eurymachus, son of Publius, answered, Take heart, Queen Penelope, daughter of Icarus. No. Icarius, do not trouble yourself about these matters. The man is not yet born, nor never will be, who shall lay hands upon your son Telemachus. While I yet to live, look upon the face of the earth. I say, and it shall surely be, that my spear shall be reddened with his blood. For many a time has Odysseus taken me on his knees, held wine up from lips to drink, put pieces of meat into my hands. Therefore Telemachus is much the dearest friend I have, and has nothing to fear from the hands of us suitors. Of course, if death comes to him from the gods, he cannot escape it. He said this to quiet her, but in reality he was plotting against Telemachus. Basically, he's lying. But it's like, man, I would never, like, he's lying doing that thing. He's like, he's my dear friend, I would never do that. Oh, fuck off, like, I'll still kill him. Goodness. Then Penelope went upstairs again and mourned her husband until Athena shed sleep over her eyes. In the evening, Eurymaeus got back to Odysseus and his son, who had sacrificed a young pig of a year old and were helping one another to get supper ready. Athena therefore came up to Odysseus and turned him into an old man with the stroke of her wand, and clad him in his old clothes again, for fear that the swineherd might recognize him and not keep the secret, but go and tell Penelope. Telemachus was the first to speak. So you've got back, Eurymaeus, said he. What is the news of the town? Have the suitors returned, or are they still waiting over yonder to take me on my way home? I did not think of asking about that, said Eurymaeus. When I was in the town, I thought I would give my message and come back as soon as I could. I I met a man sent by those who have gone with you to Pylos, and he was the first to tell the news to your mother, but I can say what I saw from my own eyes. I had just got on the crest of the hill of Hermes, above the town, when I saw a ship coming into harbor with a number of men in her. They had many shields and spears, and I thought it was the suitors, but I cannot be sure. On hearing this, Telemachus smiled to his father, but so that Eurymaeus could not see him. Then when they had finished their work and the meal was ready, and ate it, and every man had his full share, so that they all were satisfied. As soon as they had enough to eat and drink, they laid down to rest and enjoyed the boon of sleep. They're like, yeah, let's go and kill people tomorrow, and just go eat and sleep. Humans. Alright, book 17. Actually, let's take a little small break before we get into that. It's like Taurus and the hare. The hare knows they'll win, so they take a nap. Yeah. Literally, that's what it is. Okay. Oh, man. Alright, so I'm graduating in a few days, as I mentioned earlier in the video. So that's something that's going on in my life. I'm nervous because because I'm graduating and this is like a new era, but in terms of like the small shit, I don't like crowds, I don't like ceremonies, even though it's fine, and there's the only like attention spot I got is like, oh, you walk across the stage and just shake someone's hand and like take a photo and you're done. But like, it still doesn't, like, the anxiety of it, of just being, I mean, we're in rows, I know that, but just, the whole thing of it is just like, I don't want to do it, I just want to be done, bro. Aside from nerves, how are you feeling? I'm feeling fine. Like, I'm not overly excited to graduate as much as a lot of people are. I'm just glad to be done. Because 4 years, I never actually wanted to go to college in the first place, but my parents were like, well, we saved money for you to go for years, and you might as well just have it underneath your belt, and you're like, okay, fine. And I did it for the 4 years, and, I would say the school I went to is satisfactory. Like, it's not like, Harvard, you know what I'm saying? But it did what it needed to do, to have it underneath my belt sort of thing. And I'm glad I met people here, and only I remember my high school graduation, not my college. Yeah, I'll talk about the graduation ceremony and compare the two once I have my college one, but I feel like this one's a little bit better, because this ceremony is like 90 minutes, so like it starts like at 11 and then it ends at like 12:45-ish, like roughly around there. College experience, yeah, so I won't be living in a dorm anymore. But hey, I mean, it's an experience, because my dad essentially went to college 4 years. My mom didn't, because she had my brother at like 17, so she only went to like nursing assistant school like for 2 years. And then two of my sisters have not gone to college. My niece has gone to college. My brother has gone to college. One of my older sisters has gone to college, though. I just don't know the oldest. I don't know if she has yet, or has in her life, but I guess I never considered the question. Yeah, are you talking about like the 90 minutes? Like, it is not bad. It's not, some ceremonies are like what, hours, like some like that. But the reason why it's 90 minutes is because there's actually like 3 ceremonies within one day. So like there's one at 11 a.m., which is the one I'm in, and then there's one at like 2, and then the other one's like at 5, if I remember correctly. So 90 minutes, I mean after my little counselor talked to me about like, oh, what the process is, because I didn't know what to expect from this ceremony, but then like when she said like, oh, you just, speech, and then you just go up, and you're like, oh, that's it? Okay, fine. That kind of relaxes my nerves a bit. And my medications are certainly helping with my thoughts and shit. So it's not gonna be, like, terrible, but I know there's gonna become a moment where my I'm gonna break. Not during the ceremony, but, like, beforehand, so I can get it all out. Well, that explains it. Yeah. Hence why it's 90 minutes, because the amount of, like, ceremonies they have to do. So the College of the Arts is, like, part of the first one, and there's College of the Arts, and I think Liberal Arts and Sciences are in the same thing. So, like, my roommate's graduating in the same ceremony, and my other friend's also graduating for the same ceremony. So at least I have 2 friends there. But fuck. Dude, Yeah. You know what it reminds me of? I'm gonna use meeting Matt Mercer and Patton Oswalt as an example, because I was the exact same thing with when I was like, well, I'm meeting 2 people I grew up with, and I'm nervous as fuck. But I did it, and that was longer than 10 seconds. I'm pretty sure I can handle walking across the stage for 10 fucking seconds, like, you know what I mean? There's other shit to worry about. It's just my mind works that way. It's just, there's that thing in the back of my mind, I'm like, I don't like this, I really don't, but there's, like, that light at the end of the tunnel kind of a thing where, like, I'm going to be fine. Like, I know I'm fine. I'm gonna be fine. But it's like, there's another part of my brain that's like, I'm scared out of my wits. But I don't know where that fucking voice came from, but yeah, it sucks. Anxiety fucking sucks. It really does. It kind of just pampers you down. It's like, are your friends close to you? I think they're alphabetical. I think I'm the first one out of my 2 friends so far that I think I know are in that crowd. That go up. At least it's row by row, which is not nerve-wracking. Because I'm with other people. Jeez. Wait, what are my friends texting me? Dude, my friend just texted me the new Odyssey trailer came out for the Christopher Nolan film. Dang. I'm reading the book right now. Oh, Soph is here. Hi. Hello, Soph. Welcome back. We're taking a break between books and the Odyssey. My friend, you mean okay, Matt, you said that the new Odyssey trailer's out? I'm telling her, I'm like, I'm literally reading the book right now. You know what? Guys, we should do that for the break. Hang on a second. We should watch the trailer. Just for the fun of it. I'm doing good, Soph. I'm graduating in a few days, so that's fucking fun. Shut the fuck up. This just dropped like 7 hours ago. Yo, guys. Guys. Let me have a fucking break. What do you mean? What do you mean there's a new trailer out when I read this shit? Oh my god. All right, we're watching this shit. We're gonna watch this. Oh, thank you, Soph. My friend just texted me. We literally had, when I was reading the Odyssey, like, I just told her I was reading the book, and she literally, when I was reading the book, she's like, God, the new trailer is out, I'm not ready for this. I'm like, wait, what? There's a new, and I'm like, I'm reading the book, what do you mean? Like, you cannot be doing this to me. Alright, we're watching the trailer, just because it's an Odyssey. I'm breathing. I'm good. I'm just freaking the fuck out. Alright. Oh gosh, my headphones, I'm trying to... they're getting stuck. Crazy coincidence. I know, it's really funny. I did not expect this to be dropped today. Alright, let's watch this. Let's watch this crap. Alright. Not crap. This is gonna be really good. This is why I wanted to read the book. I was like, I want to read this in preparation for the freaking movie. Alright. 2 minutes long. That's not bad. Oh, you know. This is a Christopher Nolan movie when you got that. Oh crap, it's not even that.
A wife?
Yep.
A son.
Oh, there's Telemachus. Who's her? What? Huh?
We won the war.
Yep, Trojan War.
Help me go home.
I'm just trying to go home, man. The music, hello?
This is a household waiting for master.
Aha. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm pausing in the middle of that. That's Antinius, I think.
Waiting for master.
No, wait, no. It might. I don't think it is.
I want you to choose.
Oh, wait, no, it is. There's.
If this king is coming back.
No, he's not.
Polyphemus. Oh, interesting.
What would he do if he came back here and find all these suitors in his house?
You're pining for a daddy you didn't even know, like some sniveling bastard.
Fight, little wolf, fight. Okay.
After your wife and son.
Ooh.
Do you see?
My dad is coming home.
Bringing vengeance.
Bringing it all.
That's crazy. That's great. Oh my god. Oh, whoa. Damn.
I need everyone at this party dead.
I can still save them.
600 men.
Needs to control his fate,
600.
but you cannot control this.
That world is
The dog. No. No. Not Aragos.
Stand
No.
between me and home. Not even the gods.
Sharaboyas, or whatever that name is, right? The music. I think it's asleep. Oh my god. And people, oh dude. Oh guys. That was peak. That was so good. That was so good. Oh my god. You know, people, okay, think about Christopher Nolan. People have been wondering if, like, he would do, like, a horror movie. I guess that kind of covers that. Holy shit. Oh, this is going to beat my favorite Christopher Nolan movie, which, well, I have a few of them, but I've liked Oppenheimer a lot. I think this one's gonna take the fucking cake eventually. Oh my god, my hairs are standing up, guys. What the shit? I'm freaking out, sorry. This is so good! Guys! There's a puppy! It's Aragos, guys! Oh my god. If you don't know the context of that, oh, dude. Dude, we're not ready for this movie. And the fact that I'm reading the book is just, oh, bro. And we just saw the old man in the thing. Yeah, that's what we just read right now. We just read that part of the old man just being like, the hype's real. It really is. All right, back to reading. I want to know what the rest of this story. But man, it's really interesting how they casted like the Twilight guy, Edward, in this movie. It's really funny to me. He's the Antinius of the movie. You think you'll finish the book? Oh yeah, I'm sure. We only got like 10 books left to go. In terms of the book I'm reading, 10 books within the book that I have. After I graduate, I'll have more time to read it. But guys, I am so excited to watch this. I know that I can't see it in IMAX though because I don't have one near me. But I'll watch it normally. I don't need to have like a special freaking IMAX bullshit, but I know it's gonna be good with IMAX cameras. But oh man, the puppy. Oh, the puppy. I think what we saw with the whole, like, the guy coming out of the ground, I think that's the underworld they're doing. I'm pretty sure. That's my theory. But then there's that girl, like, what else do you remember? Wait a minute, is that the girl that we just read? That's the princess! That's that chick! That's that girl we talked about! You'll be experienced with it. Oh, dude, I cannot wait for the fucking soundtrack. Like, and not only that, Epic the Musical is getting its own freaking movie. The Odyssey's coming back, guys. Alright, so we're on book 17. And this little, and the little caption thing, he says, Telemachus and his mother meet. Odysseus and Eurymaeus come down to the town, and Odysseus is insulted by Melantinius. He is recognized by his dog Aragos. No, not this. We were just talking about that. No, we got to the part already. That's terrible. He is insulted and presently struck by Antinius with a stool. Fucking takes him out with a stool, and Penelope desires that he shall be sent to her. When the child of morning, rosy-fingered dawn appeared, Telemachus bound on his sandals and took on a strong spear that suited his hands, for he wanted to go into the city. Old friend, he said to the swineherd, I will go now unto the town and show myself to my mother, for she'll never leave off grieving until she had seen me. As for this unfortunate stranger, take him to the town and let him beg of anyone who will give him a drink and a piece of bread. I have trouble enough of my own, and cannot be burdened with other people. If this makes him angry, so much for the worse for him, but I like to say what I mean. Then Odysseus said, Sir, I do not want to stay here. I'm a beggar who can always do better in a town than country. For anyone who likes can give him something. I am too old to care about remaining here at the beck of a call of a master. Therefore let this man do as you have just told him, and take me to the town as soon as I have had a warm by the fire, and the day has got a little heat in it. My clothes are wretchedly thin, and this frosty morning I shall be perished with cold. For you say the city is some way off. On this, Telemachus strode off through the yards, brooding on his revenge upon the suitors. When he reached home, and he stood his spear against the bearing post of the cloister, crossed the stone floor of the cloister itself, and went inside. Nurse Eurycleia saw him long before anyone else did. She was putting the fleeces onto the seats, and she burst out crying as she ran up to him, and all the other maids came up too and covered his head and shoulders with their kisses. Penelope came out of her room looking Diana or Venus. Oh, Aphrodite, I think, right? This is the Roman text. I swear I heard the instrumental from Epic in that trailer. I feel like that would have been funny if that was an Easter egg for that. I can't imagine how Homer or anyone else who wrote the other Odyssey would react to these musicals and movies. Yeah, that'd be really funny. He'd be like, "What is this, my legacy now?" Hug the doggo. Aragos, yeah. They would probably feel proud that their stories have lived on for this long. Yeah, for sure. Odyssey's a really good gem, for sure. Diane, who's that? Okay, I need to ask Siri. Hey Siri. Who is Diana in Greek mythology?
Here's some info about Diana.
Goddess in Roman religion. Who is Diana in the Greek translation?
Here's an answer from Wikipedia.
Artemis, okay. Artemis is, okay, that's Artemis, alright, so that's what Diana is. And Venus is Aphrodite, right? Hey Siri. What is the Greek hey, oh my gosh. Shut up with your freaking loading. Oh, whoops, wrong button. Hey Siri. What is Venus in translation of Greek gods?
Here's an answer from World
I knew
History.
it. It's Aphrodite. Oh, yep. Yep, sorry I didn't help. It's okay, it's fine. Artemis or Aphrodite, and wept as she flung her arms about her song. Mama's point Telemachus! I guess the apple doesn't far from the tree. I kill for freaking son and freaking mother relationships. You already know that. You guys already know that. She kissed his forehead and both his beautiful eyes. Light of my eyes, she cried as she fondly spoke to him. So you'll come home again. I made sure I was never going to see you anymore. To think of you have gone off the Pylos without saying anything about it or obtaining my consent. But come, tell me what you saw. She's like, how dare you? How, like, fucking dare you? Like, why did you go alone? That's dangerous. But what did you see? Tell me, my child. Do not scold me, mother. He's like, Mom, wait, I have to. Do not scold me, mother, answered Telemachus, nor vex me, seeing what a narrow escape I have had. But wash your face, change your dress, and go upstairs with your maids, and promise full and sufficient hecatombs to all the gods if Zeus would only grant us our revenge upon the suitors. I must go now to the place of assembly to invite a stranger who has come back with me from Pylos. I sent him on with my crew and told Prireus to take him home and look after him till I could come for him for myself. She heeded her son's words, washed her face, changed her dress, and vowed full and sufficient hecatombs to all the gods if they could only vouchsafe her revenge upon the suitors. Telemachus went through and out of the cloisters, spear in hand, but not alone, for his 2 fleet dogs went with him. Athena endowed him with a presence of such divine comeliness that all marveled at him as he went by, and the suitors gathered around with him with fair words in their mouths and malice in their hearts. But he avoided them and went to sit with Mentor and Antiphius and Halitherses, old friends of his father's house, and they made him tell him all what happened to him. Then Pyrrhus came up with Theoclymenus, whom he had escorted through the town to the place of assembly, whereon Telemachus had once joined them. Pietrus was the first to speak. Telemachus, said he, I wish you would send some of your women to my house and take away the presents Menelaus gave you. We do not know, Pyrrhus, answered Telemachus, what may happen if the suitors kill me in my own house and divide my property among them. I would rather you had the presents than any of those people who should get a hold of them. If, on the other hand, I manage to kill them, I shall be much obliged if you will kindly bring me my presents. Hang on. Mother-son bonds are what give me life. Yeah, exactly. That's why do you think I did it with Jesse and Alex in my AU, dude? I don't feel like those kind of relationships are not shunned upon a lot. It's mainly like the stereotypical. I wouldn't call it a stereotype. It's mainly like mother and daughter, or like father and daughter, or like son and father. But like, there's no, like, I feel like there's no in between. You know, peak mother interaction right there. Yeah, you're awesome. How dare you? Exactly. You almost died. That thing could have killed you. With these words, he took Theoclymenus to his own house. When they got there, they laid their cloaks on the benches and seats, went into the baths, and washed themselves. When the maids had washed them and atonement them, they had given them cloaks and shirts, and they took their seats at the table. A maidservant then brought them water in a beautiful golden ewer, and poured it into a silver basin for them to wash their hands, and she drew a clean table beside them. An upper servant brought them bread and offered them many good things of what there was in the house. Opposite them sat Penelope, reclining on a couch, one of the bearing posts of the cloister, and spinning. Then they laid their hands on the good things that were before them. And soon as they had enough to eat and drink, Penelope said, Telemachus, I shall go upstairs and lie down on that sad couch, which I have not ceased to water with my tears from the day Odysseus set out for Troy with the sons of Atreus. You failed, however, to make it clear to me before the suitors came back to the house whether or no you had been able to hear anything about the return of your father. I will tell you then truth, replied her son. We went to Pylos and saw Nestor, who took me to his house and treated me as hospitably as I was a son of his own who had returned after a long absence. So also did his sons. But he said that he had not heard a word from any human about Odysseus, whether he was alive or dead. He sent me, therefore, with a chariot and horses to Menelaus. There I saw Helen, for whose sake many who gives Argives and Trojans, or in heaven wisdom doomed me to suffer. Menelaus asked me what it was that it had brought me to Lacedaemon, and I told him the whole truth, whereon he said, So then, these cowards would usurp a brave man's bed, and Hine might as well they lay her newborn, the young in the lair of a lion, and then go off to feed in a forest, or in some grassy dell. The lion, when he comes back to his lair, will make short work of the pair of them. Will make short work with the pair of them, so will Odysseus with these suitors. By Father Zeus, Athena, and Apollo, if Odysseus is still the man that he was when he wrestled with the Philomelides in Lesbos, and threw him so heavily all the Greeks had cheered him, if he is still such, and were come near these suitors, they would have a short shrift and a sorry wedding. As regards to your question, however, I will not prevaricate nor deceive you, but what the old man of the sea told me, so much I will tell you in full. He said he could see Odysseus on an island sorrowing bitterly in the house of the nymph Calypso, who was keeping him prisoner, and he could not reach his home, for he had no ships nor sailors to take him over the sea. This is what Menelaus told me, and when I heard this story, I came away, and the gods gave me a fair wind and soon brought me safe home again. With these words he moved the heart of Penelope. Then Theoclymenus said to her, Madam, wife of Odysseus, Telemachus does not understand these things. Listen therefore to me, for I can divine them surely, and will hide nothing from you. May Zeus, the king of heaven, be my witness in the rites of hospitality, with the hearth of Odysseus, in which I now come, that Odysseus himself is not even now in Ithaca, and neither going about the country or staying in one place, is inquiring to all these evil deeds and preparing a day of reckoning for the suitors. I saw an omen when I was on the ship, which meant this, and I told Telemachus about it. May it be even so, answered Penelope. If your words come true, you shall have such gifts and such goodwill from me that all who see shall congratulate you. Thus they did converse. Meanwhile, the suitors were throwing discs or aiming with spears at a mark on the leveled ground in front of the house, and behaving with all their old insolence. But when it was now time for dinner, the flock of sheep and goats had come into the town from the country round, with their shepherds, as usual. Then Medon, who was their favorite servant, who waited upon them at the table. Now then, my young masters, you have had enough sport, so come inside that we may get dinner ready. Dinner is not a bad thing at dinner time. Man, they kept their freaking humor. Or humans kept their humor for a long time. Okay, I missed the chat. What was going on? We need more Mama's Boy. No, we really do. Lucas gives me Mama's Boys vibe too, you know, as the mom lived. Yeah, that's why in the AU, Lucas grows close to Jesse because he sees himself in him. So he's like, I don't want to beat him anymore. He goes to Aiden and he's just like, I don't want to beat him. But, and Aiden's like, what the fuck do you mean? Change your heart? Is that your fucking boyfriend? Even though, in the end, Lucas and Jesse don't get together. It's just the trauma bonding part that they get really close to. And that's not, like, not focused on a lot on either in TV shows or media nowadays. Everything just has to be romantic. I'm like, no, can people just, like, chill? Can people just traumatize, like, you know, not to, like, be an asshole about it, but I'm like, I feel like that kind of thing is not shined upon often. And it's like, dude. Trauma bonded brothers, yep, pretty much. That's why they get along so well. Okay, they left their sports as he told them, and when they were within the house, they laid their cloaks on the benches and seats inside, then sacrificed some sheep, goats, pigs, and a heftier, all of them fat and well grown. Damn. And they made ready for their meal. In the meantime, Odysseus and the swineherd were about starting for the town, and the swineherd said, Stranger, I suppose you still want to go to town today, as my master said you were to do. For my own part, I should have liked you to stay here as a station hand, but I must do as my master tells me, or he will scold me later on, and scolding from one's master is a very serious thing. Let us then be off, for now is broad day, and will be night again directly, and then you will find it colder. I know, and I understand you, replied Odysseus. He's like, shut the fuck up. Like, shut up. Yes, give me platonic friendship, brother. Yeah, exactly. Like, guys, it doesn't have to be romantic all the fucking time. Like, because especially like with the male like friendships, like women, I understand. Like, there's that whole like girly thing, but like men, it's so sad that men are just like, I don't know. That's just me though. It's like it's unrepresented a lot. I think you see it in a lot of older movies, like, take it like Stand By Me, for example, like, that's a good one. We do need more types of love, we really do, you know? See, I feel like that's peak humanity right there, you know? Like, I actually learned this in my, my theological class, where, actually, there's all this kind of types of love, sort of thing, there was these old, like, back in, like, old writings, there was evidence of, like, I forget the specific, like, passages or, like, things, but back then, apparently friendship was, like, deep, meaningful friendships is, like, were, like praised for. Like, that was the main thing that was praised a lot, which is interesting because now it's like the reverse. Now everything's praising about the romantic part of it. There's a name for that. I know one of these, brotherly love, there's a word for that, philia. I think that was one of the things I learned about. There's like, oh gosh, you know where the name Philadelphia came from? The capital of Pennsylvania. That's where it came. That's where the name came from. Was brotherly love, I think. If I remember, see, I'm telling you, the theological class was interesting. See, it was really interesting learning about that. Yeah, it is a Greek word. There's a lot of Greek words that were in the... I have my notes somewhere, but it's in my notebook. I think I already packed it, but... because I was moving out my stuff, but... yeah, one of the lessons we talked about was a different glove. There's agape, which is another Greek word. Agape is like the... the one that's mentioned in the Bible. Yeah. Philia? Philadelphia? But yeah, there is like a word for name origin. Yeah, deriving from the Greek words philios, beloved friend, and aphilios, brother, translating the city of brotherly love. Yeah. And there's another name. There's another word that starts with an A. It wasn't agape, it was something else. There was like... it was really interesting course. See, that was one of the main things of... and it was interesting to learn that, like, the deep, meaningful friendships were, like, praised back then a lot. Like, oh, like, I love traveling with this guy. Like, you know, like, he's my friend. And then now it's like, no. Make it romantic. Make him gay or... make it a relationship, make it straight, you know, like, I'm like, dude, guys, chill the fuck out. There's those small human moments that doesn't have to be romantic, you know. Yeah. It's, again, that's why I was like, maybe I could do something, especially... and it fits well because in the 80s, it was looked down upon a little bit too because of the, you know, the societal, like, expectations at the time. Or like, oh, men can't cry, but, you know, something like that. They can't be overly emotional. They have to be brooding! And that's kind of like... yeah. It's definitely in the Odyssey for sure. Like, you definitely see it in there because the crew, like, he's, you know, the way that they talk in long sentences, it tells you they're very passionate. Anyway, I'm distracted. I should stop rambling. But yeah, it's very... it's not a common thing people talk about nowadays. It's kind of sad. Again, it's underrated, you know? Alright, let's see here. I know and understand you, replied Odysseus. You need say no more. Let us be going, but if you have a stick... oh, goodness, but if you have a stick ready cut, let me have it to walk with so you can say the road is a very rough one. As he spoke, he threw his shabby old tattered wallet over his shoulders and by the cord in which it hung, and Eumaeus gave him a stick to his liking. The two men then stared, leaving the station in charge of the dogs and the herdsmen who remained behind. The swineherd led the way and his master followed after, looking like some broken-down old tramp that he leaned upon his staff, and then his clothes were all in rags. When they got over to the rough, steep ground, they were nearing the city. They reached the mountain from which the citizens drew their water. This had been made by Ithacus, Nereus, and Polyector. Polyector, I think that's the name. There was a grove of water-looking oh, here's the freaking flowers again. Poplars. I think that's what if I'm remembering correctly. Oh yeah, if you were gay or anything feminine, you were shunned and disowned. Yeah. And I thought, it's history that should repeat. Which history? Yeah, the friendship thing. Yeah. It's interesting how it kind of went backwards over time. It's really interesting. Like, you wouldn't expect that to happen, but man, like, reading that, I'm like, damn, this was actually, like, people actually liked that? Dang, dude. Poplars. Yay, I did it. Planted in a circle around it. There was a grove of water-loving poplars planted in a circle around it, and the clear, cold water came down to it from a rock high up. While above the fountain there was an altar to the nymphs, at which all wayfarers used to sacrifice. Here Menethius, son of Dolius, overtook them as he was driving down some goats, the best in his flock, for the suitors' dinner, and there were 2 shepherds with him. When he saw Eurymaeus and Odysseus, he reviled them with outrageous and unseemly language, which made Odysseus very angry. Oh no! Oh no! There you go, cried he, and a precious pair you are. See how heaven brings birds of the same feather to one another? Where, pray, master swineherd, are you taking this poor miserable object? Jesus! He's a good lord. Maybe we'll make a comeback, hopefully. Yeah, me too. I really hope. If not, maybe it's not in our lifetimes. We don't know. It's a slow, build up. I feel like it's gonna. Good, dude. Holy fuck! He called him an object. Jesus, that's crazy. It would make anyone sick to see such a creature at the table. A fellow like this, never won a prize for anything in his life, but will go about rubbing his shoulders against every man's doorpost and begging not for swords and cauldrons like a man, but only for a few scraps not worth begging for. If you were to give him to me for a hand in my station, he might do to clean out the folds, or bring a bit of sweet feed to the kids, and he could fatten his thighs as much as he pleases on we, but he has taken 2 bad ways, and not go about any kind of work. He will do nothing but beg the town over to feed his oh my gosh, he just hates this guy. Jesus. To feed his insatiable belly. I say therefore, it shall surely be. If he goes near Odysseus' house, he will get his head broken by the stools they will fling at him, or they will turn him out. On this, as he passed, he gave Odysseus a kick on the hip out of pure wantonness, but Odysseus stood firm and did not budge from the path. For a moment he doubted whether not to know or to fly at Menethius and kill him with his staff, or fling him to the ground and beat his brains out. He resolved, however, to endure it and keep himself in check, but the swineherd looked straight at Menethius and rebuked him, lifting his hands and praying to the heaven as he did so. Fountain nymphs, he cried, children of Zeus, if ever Odysseus burned you thigh bones covered with fat wether of lambs or kids, grant my prayer that my heaven may send him home. He would soon put an end to the swaggering threats on which such men as you go about insulting people, gadding all over the town while your flocks are going to ruin through bad sheep shepherding. Then Menethius, the goatherd, answered, "You ill-conditioned cur, what are you talking about? Some day or other I will put you on board ship and take you to a foreign country where I can sell you and pocket the money you will fetch. I wish I were as sure as that Apollo would strike Telemachus dead this very day, or that the suitors would kill him, as I am that Odysseus will never come home again." With this he left them to come on at their leisure, while he went quickly forward and soon reached the house of his master. When he got there, He went in and took his seat among the suitors opposite of Eurymachus, who liked him better than any of the others. The servants brought him a portion of meat, and an upper woman's servant set bread before him that he might eat. Presently Odysseus and the swineherd came up to the house and stood by it, amid the sound of music, for Theaeus, who was just beginning to sing to the suitors. Then Odysseus took hold of the swineherd's hand and said, Eurymachus, this house of Odysseus is a very fine place. No matter how far you go, you will find if you like it. One building keeps following on after another. The outer court has a wall with battlements all around it. The doors are double folding and of good workmanship. It would be a hard matter to take it by force of arms. I perceive too that there are many people banqueting within it, and for there is a smell of roast meat, and I hear a sound of music, which the gods have made to go along with the feasting. Then Eurymachus said, You have perceived aright, as indeed you generally do, but let us drink what will be our best course. Will you go inside first and join the suitors, leaving me here behind you, or will you wait here and let me go in first? But do not wait long, or someone may see you loitering outside and throw something at you. Consider this matter, I pray you. And Odysseus answered, I understand and heed. Go in first and leave me here where I am. I'm quite used to being beaten and having things thrown at me. I'll take the hits, man. I'll take the hits. I have been so much buffeted about in war and by sea that I am case hardened, and this too may go with the rest. But a man cannot hide away the cravings of a hungry belly, and this is an enemy which gives me much trouble to all men. It is because of this that ships are fitted out to sail the seas and to make war upon other people. As they were thus talking, a dog that had been lying asleep raised his head to prick up his ears. This was Argos, whom Odysseus had bred before setting out for Troy, but he had never had any work out of him. In the old days he used to be taken out by the young men when they were hunting old wild goats or deer or hares, but now that his master was gone, he was lying neglected on the heaps of mule and cow dung that lay in front of the stable doors till the men should come and draw it away to manure the great clothes. He was full of fleas. As soon as he saw Odysseus standing there, he dropped his ears and wagged his tail, but he could not get close up to his master. When Odysseus saw the dog on the other side of the yard, he dashed a tear from his eyes without Eurymachus seeing it, and said, Eurymachus, what a noble hound that is over yonder on the manure heap. His build is splendid, and is he as fine a fellow as he looks, or is he only one of those dogs that come begging about a table and are merely kept for show? This hound, answered Eumaeus, belonged to him who has died in a far country. If he were what he was when Odysseus left for Troy, he would soon show you what he could do. But there was not a wild beast in the forest that could get away from him when he was once on his tracks. But now he has fallen on evil times, for his master is dead and gone, and the women take no care of him. Servants never do their work, and their master's hand is no longer over them. For Zeus takes half of the goodness of a man when he makes a slave of him. Damn, Jesus. Argos, man. He spoke as he went inside the buildings in the cloister where the suitors were, but Argos died as soon as he had recognized his master. Argos, no! He was like waiting for this long. He's like, oh, my master's gone. I can die in peace. Oh man, bro, my fucking heart. I'm gonna cry. I'm really gonna cry. After seeing the fucking trailer, I'm like, no, I'm reading the part where this happens. No. Yeah, maybe we don't. Okay, I'm reading I'm calling up the mental chat. Sorry, I read that wrong. The chat. Catching up on the chat. Maybe we don't call people objects, though I do know people use it and its pronouns, so I guess they don't mind. Yeah, there's that too. But back then, being called an object was like probably an insult, like for sure. Yeah, he was destroying. That person was destroying him with words. Aiden versus Jesse just being a bully with words. Yeah. Ergo Spess Boy. He waited 20 years for Odysseus to come home. And then he finally gets it. Telemachus saw Eurymaeus long before anyone else did and beckoned him to come and sit beside him. So he looked about and saw a seat lying near where the carvers sat, serving their portions to the suitors. He picked it up, brought it to Telemachus' table, and sat down opposite of him. Then the servant brought him his portion and gave him bread from the bread basket. Immediately afterwards, Odysseus came inside looking like a poor, miserable old beggar, leaning on his staff with his clothes all in rags. He sat down upon the threshold of ash wood just inside the doors leading from the outer into the inner court, and against a bearing post of the cypress wood, in which the carpenter had skillfully planned and made to join truly with rule and line. Telemachus took a whole loaf from the bread basket, with as much meat as he could hold in his two hands, and said to Eurymaeus, "Take this to the stranger and tell him to go the round of the suitors and beg from them. A beggar must not be shamefaced." Sir Eurymaeus went up to him and said, "Stranger, Telemachus sends you this, and says you are to go around the round of suitors begging, for beggars shall not be shamefaced." He says copy and paste. Odysseus answered, "May King Zeus grant all happiness to Telemachus, and fulfill the desire of his heart." Then with both hands he took what Telemachus had sent him, and laid it on the dirty old wallet at his feet. He went on eating it, and while the bard was singing and just had finished his dinner as he left off. The suitors applauded the bard, whereon Athena went up to Odysseus and prompted him to beg pieces of bread from each of one of the suitors, that he might see what kind of people they were, and to tell the good from the bad, but come from what might, she was not going to save a single one of them. Odysseus therefore went on his round, going from left to right, and stretched out his hands to beg as though he were a real beggar. Some of them pitied him and were curious about him, asking one another who he was and where he came from. Whereon the goatherd Melanthius said, "Suitors of my noble mistress, I can tell you something about him, for I have seen him before. The swineherd had brought him here, but I know nothing about the man himself, nor where he comes from." On this, Antonius began to abuse the swineherd. "Oh no, you precious idiot!" You precious idiot! He cried, "What have you brought this man to town for? Have we not tramps and beggars have already to pester us as we sit at meat? Do you think it is a small thing that such people gather here to waste your master's property, and must you needs bring this man as well?" And Eurymaeus answered, "Antonius, your birth is good, but your words evil. It was no doing of mine that he came here. Who is likely to invite a stranger from a foreign country unless it be one of those who can do public service as a seer, a healer of hurts, a carpenter, or a bard that can charm us with his singing? Such men are welcome all the world over, but no one is likely to ask a beggar who will only worry him. You are always harder on Odysseus' servants than any of the other suitors are, and above all on me, but I do not care so long as Telemachus and Penelope are alive and I am here." But Telemachus said, "Hush, do not answer him. Antonius has the bitterest tongue of all the suitors, and he makes the others worse." And then turning to Antonius, he said, "Antonius, what you take as much care of my interests though I were your son. Why should you want to see the stranger turned out of the house? Heaven forbid, take something and give it to him yourself. I do not grudge it. I bid you to take it." Never mind my mother, nor any of the other servants in the house, but I know you will not do what I say, for you are more fond of eating things yourself than giving them to other people." "What do you mean, Telemachus?" replied Antinius. "By this swaggering talk, if all the suitors were to give him as much as I will, he would not come here again for another 3 months." As he spoke, he drew the stool on which he rested his dainty feet from under the table, and made as though he would throw it at Odysseus, but the other suitors gave him something, and filled his wallet with bread and meat. He was about, therefore, to go back to the threshold and eat what the suitors had given him. But first he went up to Antinius and said, "Sir, give me something. You are not surely the poorest man here. You seem to be a chief, 4 months among them all. Therefore you should be a better giver, and I will tell far and wide of your bounty. I too was a rich man once, and had a fine house of my own. In those days I gave up to many a tramp such as I am now. I too was a rich man once. They put me in a room full of rats. 20 years is long for a dog. Either he's got a will to steal, or dogs were just built different back then." Yeah. He inspired his Chaco. Yeah, the dog. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh. Love precious idiots. It's really funny how he said that. "I too was a rich man once, and I had a fine house of my own. In those days I gave to many a tramp such as I now am, no matter who he might nor what he wanted. I had any number of servants and all the other things which people have to live well and are accounted wealthy. But it pleased Zeus to take all away from me. He sent me with a band of roving robbers to Egypt. It was a long voyage, and I was undone by it. I stationed my ships in the river Aegeus. I bade my men stay by them and keep guard over them, but I sent out scouts to reconnoiter from every point of vantage. But the men disobeyed my orders, took their own devices, and ravaged the land of Egyptians, killing the men and taking their wives and children captives. The alarm was soon to carry to the city, and when they heard the war cry, the people came out at daybreak and till the plain was filled with soldiers, horse and foot, with the gleam of armor. Then Jove spread panic among my men, and they could no longer face the enemy, for they had found themselves surrounded. The Egyptians killed many of us, and took the rest alive to do forced labor for them. As for myself, they gave me to a friend who met them, to take him to Cyprus. Demeter by name, son of Asius, who was a great man in Cyprus. Hence I had come hither at the state of great misery." Then Antinius said, What God can have sent such a presence to plague us during our dinner? Get out into the open part of our court, or I'll give you Egypt and Cyprus. Come over again for your insolence and importunity." Oh my God. "And you have begged all the others, and they have given you lavishly, for they have abundance around them. And it is easy to be free with other people's property when there is plenty of it." On this, Odysseus began to move off, and said, "Your looks, my fine sir, better than your breeding. If you were in your own house, you would not spare a poor man so much as a pinch of salt. For though you are in another man's, and surrounded with abundance, you cannot find it within you to give him even a piece of bread." This made Antinius very angry, and he scowled over at him, saying, "You shall pay for this before you get clear of the court." With these words he threw a footstool at him, hit him on the right shoulder blade near the top of his back. Odysseus stood firm as a rock, and the blow did not even stagger him, but he shook his head in silence as he brooded on his revenge. Then he went back to the threshold and sat down there, laying his will-filled wallet at his feet. "Listen to me," he cried, "you suitors of Queen Penelope, that I may speak even though I am minded. A man knows neither ache nor pain if he gets hit while fighting for his money, or for his sheep or his cattle. Even so, Antinius has hid me while in the service of my miserable belly, which is always getting people into trouble. Still, if the poor have gods and averaging deities at all, I pray them that Antinius may come to a bad end before his marriage. Sit where you are and eat your victuals in peace, or be off elsewhere, shouted Antinius. If you say more, I will have you dragged hand and foot through the courts, and servants shall flay you alive. Good lord. The other suitors were much displeased at this, and one of the young men said, Antinius, you did ill in striking that poor wretch of a tramp. It'll be worse for you if he should turn out to be some god. We know that gods go about in disguise in all sorts of ways as people from foreign countries and travel about the world to see who do amiss and who do righteously. Thus said the suitors, but Antinius had paid them no heed. Meanwhile, Telemachus was furious about the blow that had been given to his father. Valid. Dad, they attacked his father. You're gonna be pissed about that. Like, you attacked my dad. He's like, oh my god, Dad! Well, kind of where a lot of rich people belong, yeah. Whole foot still got thrown at his man. He didn't even flinch. I'd be so scared if I were a suitor and saw that. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Meanwhile, Telemachus was furious about the blow that had been given to his father, and though no tear fell from him, he shook his head in silence and then brooded on his revenge. Now when Penelope heard that the beggar had been struck with the banqueting cloister, she said before her maids, Would that Apollo would strike you, Antinius? And her warning woman Eurynome answered, If our prayers were answered and not one of the suitors would ever again see the sunrise. Then Penelope said, Nurse, I hate every single one of them, for they mean nothing but mischief, but I hate Antinius like the darkness of death itself. A poor unfortunate tramp has come begging about the house for sheer want. Everyone else has given him something to put in his wallet, but Antinius has hit him on the right shoulder blade with a footstool. Thus she did walk with her maids, and she sat with her own room, and in the meantime Odysseus was getting his dinner. Then she called for the swineherd and said, Eurymaeus, go and tell the stranger to come here. I want to see him and ask him questions. He seems to have traveled much, and he may have seen or heard something of my unhappy husband. Oh, man, Odysseus is right there with his wife. He's right there. Penelope's right there. Penelope! Where was I? To this you answered, O swineherd Eurymaeus, if these Achaeans, madam, would only keep quiet, you would be charmed with the history of his adventures. I had him for 3 days and 3 nights with me in my hut, which was the first place he had reached after running away from a ship, and he has not yet completed the story of his misfortunes. If he had been the most heaven-taught minstrel in the whole world, on those lips all hearers hang entranced, I could have not been more charmed as I sat in my hut and listened to him. He says there is an old friendship between his house and that of Odysseus, and that he comes from Crete, where the descendants of Minos live, and after having been driven hither and thither by every kind of misfortune, he also declares that he had heard of Odysseus as being alive and being near the hand among the Thesprotians, and that he is bringing great wealth home with him. Call him here, then, said Penelope, that I too may hear his story. As for the suitors, let them make their pleasure indoors or out as they will, for they have nothing to fret about. Their corn and wine remain unwasted in their houses, with none but servants to consume them, while they keep hanging about our house day after day, sacrificing our oxen, sheep, and fat goats for their banquets, and never giving so much as much as a thought to the quantity of wine they drink. No estate can stand such recklessness, for we have now no Odysseus to protect us. If he were to come again, he and his son would soon have their revenge. Just preaches to the choir, sister. Go Penelope, woo. I know, I love fucking Odysseus so much. He's just becoming Jesse and Jesse by the day. He really is. He's like, no, keep him at me, keep going, man. But they're like, wait a minute, you're gonna, they should stop. Never. As he spoke, Telemachus sneezed so loudly that the whole house resounded with it. Oh no! Penelope laughed when she heard this and said to Eurymaeus, "Go and call the stranger. You did not hear how my son sneezed just as I was speaking. This can only mean that all the suitors are going to be killed, and that not one of them shall escape. Furthermore, I say, and lay my saying to your heart, I am satisfied. If I am satisfied that the stranger is speaking the truth, I shall give him a shirt and a cloak of good wear." When Eurymaeus heard this, he went straight to Odysseus and said, "Father stranger, my mistress Penelope, mother of Telemachus, has sent for you. She is in great grief, but she wishes to hear anything you can tell her about her husband, and if she's satisfied that you are speaking the truth, she will give you a shirt and cloak, which are very things you are most want of. As for bread, you can get enough of that to fill your belly by begging about the town and letting those give my will, that will." "I will tell Penelope," answered Odysseus, "nothing but what is strictly true. I know about all about her husband, and I have been partner with him in affliction, but I'm afraid of passing through this crowd of cruel suitors, for their pride and insolence reach heaven. Just now, moreover, as I was going about the house, without doing any harm, a man gave me a blow that hurt me very much, but either Telemachus nor anyone else defended me. Tell Penelope, therefore, to be patient and wait until sundown. Let her give me a seat close up to the fire, for my clothes are worn and very thin. You know how they are, for you have seen them ever since I first asked you to help me. Then she can ask me about the return of her husband." The swineherd went back, and when he heard this, then Penelope then said as he saw him across the threshold, "Why do you not bring here Eurymaeus? Is he afraid that someone will ill-treat him, or is he shy of coming inside the house at all? Beggars should not be shamefaced." She's like, "Bro, why are you not bringing him here? Like, what's wrong?" And he's like, Eurymaeus is like, "Sorry, ma'am. Like, he's just scary. He doesn't want to go." To this, he answered, "O swineherd Eurymaeus, the stranger is quite reasonable. He's avoiding the suitors and is only doing what anyone else would do. He asks you to wait until sundown, and it will be much better, madam, that you will have him all to yourself, when you hear him and talk to him as you will." The man is no fool," answered Penelope. "It would be very likely to be as he says, for there are not so much such abominable people in the whole world as these men are." She really fucking hates them, and valid too. They're just assholes. When she had done speaking, Eurymaeus went back up to the suitors, for he had explained everything. Then he went up to the Telemachus and said in his ear so that none could overhear him, "My dear sir, I will go back to the pigs to see after your property and my own business. You will look to what is going on here, but above all else be careful and keep out of danger, for there are many who will bear your ill will. May Zeus bring them to a bad end before they do us a mischief." "Very well," replied Telemachus. "Go home when you have had your dinner, and in the morning come here with the victims we are to sacrifice for the day. Leave the rest to heaven and me." On this, Eurymaeus took his seat again, and when he had finished his dinner, he left the courts and the cloister with the men at the table. Oh, is it a closeteer? Is it a closet? God, I'm an idiot. I think that's what it means. With the men at table, and went back to his pigs. As for the suitors, they presently began to amuse themselves with singing and dancing, for it was now getting on towards evening. They're, like, slowly waiting for them to, like... Alright. We reached book 18. Okay. How many pages do we got until we reach... Let me double check. Because we're approaching 2 hours. Maybe we can read one more book? Oh yeah, the Pokemon, that's right. There is a Pokemon named Cloyster. Okay, 23, 24... Oh, there is 24 books. I thought there was 26 for a second. Maybe I mixed that up. So we got... let's see here. So 772 minus 676. We got 100... Oh wait, whoops, wrong number. 762 minus 676. We got 86 pages left to read, guys. I mean, there's only 24 books, and we're at book 18. We're gonna... So that means in total we got 6 books left to read. I mean, we can try making it to 20. We can do a goal, like, you know... How many pages is that? Oh, 700... It's because the Iliad's a part of this book. That's why. It's basically in the same... The Iliad is... within the same, so that's why it's like the longest freaking book in the... The Odyssey started at like 400. $443, so we've read about 676 minus... Well, partially, like, books 1 through 4 have not been read out loud, because I read it on my own time. So so far we're like 233 pages in the Odyssey. The journey's almost over. I want to make at least to 20 to, like, just be there on an even number, and just have, like, 4 books left, and then probably, like, you know, finish one more stream, for the book reading. Alright, book 18, or XVIII in Roman numerals. The fight with Ereus. Odysseus warns Amphimonus. Penelope gets presents from the suitors. The braziers. Odysseus rebukes Eurymachus. Ooh. Now there came a certain common tramp who used to go begging all over the city of Ithaca, and it was notorious as an incorrigible glutton and drunkard. This man had no strength nor say in him, but he was a great hulking fellow to look at. His real name, what the one his mother gave him, was Arnaturius, but the young men of the place called him Ireus, because he used to run errands for anyone who would send him. As soon as he came, he began to insult Odysseus again, and try to drive him out of his own house. "Be off, old man," he cried from the doorway, "or you shall be dragged by out neck and heels. Do you not see that they are all giving me the wink and wanting me to turn you out by force? Only I do not like to do so. Get up then and go of yourself, or we shall come to blows." Odysseus frowned upon him and said, "My friend, I do you no manner of harm. People give you a great deal, but I am not jealous. There is room enough in this doorway for the pair of us, and you do not need to grudge me things that are not yours to give. You seem to be just as another tramp as myself, but perhaps the gods will give us much better luck and by. Do not, however, talk much about fighting, or you will incense blood. I shall give more peace tomorrow if I do. For you I will not come to the house of Odysseus anymore. Arius was really mad and very angry and answered, "You filthy glutton, you run on trippingly like an old fish fag. God, I have a good mind to lay both hands about you and knock your teeth out of your head like so many boar's tusks. Get ready, therefore, and let these people here stand by and look on. You will never be able to fight one who is so much younger than yourself." Fuck, man. Okay, well... Good lord. Yeah, this man is more Aiden-like than... Okay, wait, how many pages until we get to... Yeah, exactly. And Penelope is like Issa or something. Okay, okay, I'm trying to check how many pages we got left for this section we're getting to. Okay, we got like 26 pages left to go until we get to book 20. Thus roundly they rate one another on the smooth pavement of the doorway, and then when Antonius saw that he was going on, he laughed heartily and said to the others, "This is the finest sport that you ever saw. Heaven never sent yet anything like it to this house. The stranger and Iris have quarreled and are going to fight. Let us set them on to do so at once." The suitors all came up and laughing and gathered round the two ragged tramps. "Listen to me," said Antonius. "There are some goat's paunches down at the fire, which have been filled with blood and fat and set aside for supper. He who is victorious and proves himself to be a better man shall have his pick of the lot. He shall be free of our table, and he will not allow any other beggar out about the house at all." The other suitors agreed. The others all agreed, but Odysseus, to throw him off the scent, said, "Sirs, like an old man like myself, worn out and suffering, cannot hold his own against a young one. But my irrepressible belly urges me on, though I know it can only end in my getting a drubbling. You must swear, however, that none of you will give me a foul blow to favor Iris and secure him the victory." They swore as he told them, and when they had completed their oath, Telemachus put a word and said, "Stranger, if you have a mind to settle with this fellow, you not to be afraid of anyone here. Whoever strikes you, you will have to fight more than one. I am host, and the other chiefs, Antonius and Eurymachus, both of them men are of understanding and are of the same mind as I am." Excuse me. Everyone assented, but Odysseus girded his old rags about his loins, thus baring his stalwart thighs. Good lord. The Greeks really love describing the body stuff shit. And his broad chest and shoulders and his mighty arms, but Athena came up to him and made his limbs even stronger still. She's like, "Let me change that, baby boppity boo." The suitors were beyond measure astonished, and one would turn towards his neighbor, saying, "The stranger has brought us such a thigh of his old rags, and that there pursued nothing of Iris." Iris began to be very uneasy as he heard them, but the servants girded him by force and brought him to the open part of the court in such a fright that his limbs were all of a tremble. Antonius scolded him and said, "You swaggering bully, you ought to never been born at all if you were afraid of such an old broken down creature as this tramp is. I say therefore, and shall surely be, if he beats you and proves himself the better man, I shall pack you off on the board ship to the mainland and send you to King Atreus, who kills every one that comes near him. He will cut off your nose and ears and draw your entrails for the dogs to eat." My god. Dang, they're firing shots. This frightened Iris still more, but they brought him into the middle of the court, and the two men raised their hands to fight. Then Odysseus considered whether he should let drive so hard at him as to make an end of him then and there, or whether he should give him a lighter blow that should only knock him down. And in the end, he deemed it best to give the lighter blow for fear that Aegeans would begin to suspect who he was. Yeah, you don't want to give him away. They then begin to fight, and Aeneas hit Odysseus in the right shoulder, but Odysseus gave Aeneas a blow in the neck under the ear that broke in the bones of his skull. Oh my god. And blood came gushing out of his mouth, and he fell groaning into the dust, gnashing his teeth and kicking on the ground. But the suitors threw up their hands and nearly died of laughter as Odysseus caught hold of him by the foot and dragged him to the outer court as far as the gatehouse. And there he propped him up against the wall and put his staff in his hands. Sit here! He's like, sit down and keep the dogs and pigs off. You are a pitiful creature, and if you may try to make yourself king of the beggars any more, then you shall fare still worse. He then threw his dirty old wallet, and all tattered and torn, over his shoulder with the cord in which it hung, and went back to sit down upon the threshold. But the suitors went within the cloisters, and laughing and saluting him. May Zeus and all the other gods, said they, grant you whatever you want for having to put an end to the importunity of this insatiable tramp. We will then take him over to the mainland presently, to King Aeneas, don't know how to pronounce that, who kills everyone that comes near him. Odysseus hailed this as this is good omen, and Aeneas set a great goat's paunch before him and filled it with blood and fat. And Phineas took 2 loaves of the bread basket and brought them to him, pledging him that he did so in a golden goblet of wine. Good luck to you, he said, Father Stranger. You are very badly off at present, but I hope you have a better times and by. To this Odysseus answered, Amphinomus, you seem to be a man of good understanding, and as indeed you may well be, seeing whose son you are. I have heard about your father well spoken of. He is Neasus of Dulichium, that's that word again, a man both brave and wealthy. They tell me you are his son, and you appear to be a considerable person. Listen, therefore, and take heed to what I'm saying. Man is the vainest of all creatures that have their being upon earth. As long as heaven vouchsafes him health and strength, he thinks that he shall come to no harm thereafter. Even when the blessed gods bring sorrow down upon him, he bears it as he needs must, and makes the best of it. For God Almighty gives men their daily minds day by day. I know all about it, for I was a rich man once, and did much wrong in the stubbornness of my pride, and in the confidence that my father and my brothers would support me. Therefore let a man fear God in all things always, and take the good that heaven may see fit to send him without vain glory. Consider the infamy of what these suitors are doing. See how they're wasting the estate and doing dishonor to the wife of one who is certain to return some day, and that too, not long hence. Nay, he will be here soon. May heaven send you home quietly first, that you may not meet with him at the end of his coming. For once he is here, and the suitors, he will not part bloodlessly. With these words he made a drink offering, and when he had drunk, he had put the gold cup again in the hands of said the guy. One question, so I'm just bookmarking a book. In the hands of Amphinomus, who walked away serious and bowing his head, for he foreboded evil. But even so he did not escape destruction, for Athena had doomed him to fall by the hand of Telemachus, so that he took his seat again at the place of which he had come. Then Athena put into the mind of Penelope to show herself to the suitors, that she might make them and still more enamored of her, and win still further honor from her son and husband. So she feigned a mocking laugh and said, Urinum, I have changed my mind, and I have a fancy to show myself to the suitors, although I detest them. I should also like to give my son a hint that he had better not have done anything more to do with them. They speak fairly enough, but they mean mischief. My dear child, said Urinum, all that you have said is true, and go and tell your son about it. But wash yourself first and anoint your face. Do not go about with your cheeks all covered with tears. It is not right that if you grieve so intensely for Telemachus, whom you have prayed that you might live to see with a beard, is already grown up. I know, Urinum, replied Penelope. I know you mean well, but do not try to persuade me to wash and anoint myself, for heaven robbed me of all my beauty in the day that my husband sailed. Nevertheless, tell Auno and Hippodamia that I want them. They must be with me when I am in the cloister. Is it cloister or closeteer? That I am not going among the men alone. It would not be proper for me to do so. On this, the old woman went out of the room and bid the maids to go to their mistress. In the meantime, Athena brought her of another matter, and sent Penelope off to a sweet slumber, so she laid down on her couch, and her limbs became heavy with sleep. Then the goddess shed grace, beauty over her with all the Aegeans that she might admire her. She washed her face with the ambrosial loveliness that Aphrodite wears when she goes dancing with the Graces. She made her taller and kind of a more commanding figure, while as for her complexion, it was wittier than sawn ivory. When Athena had done all of this, she went away, whereon the maids came from the women's room and woke Penelope with the sound of their talking. What an exquisitely delicious sleep I've been having, said she, as she passed her hands over her face, in spite of all my misery. I wish Artemis would let me die, and so sweetly let me die so sweetly now at this very moment, that I might no longer waste in despair for the loss of my dear husband, who possessed every kind of good quality, and was the most distinguished man among the Archenians. Aw, she's like, man, bro's dead. Let me read the chat. What did I miss? Athena's really like a fairy godmother. Yeah. Though she and Hermes are technically siblings, she's kind of Odysseus' aunt. Huh. You know, wait. Is that really what it is? Hermes and her are siblings? Huh. Interesting. I think next book we stop so we can get dinner and sleep. But I want to read one more. I want to get to 20. I'm almost done with 18. With these words, she came down from her upper room, not alone, but attended by two of her maidens, and when she reached the suitors, she stood one by the bearing posts, supporting the roof of the cloister, holding a veil before her face, with a strayed maid servant on either side of her. As they beheld her, the suitors were so overpowered and became so desperately enamored of her that each one she prayed she might win for in his own bedfellow. Telemachus, said she, addressing her son, I fear you are not no longer so discreet and well-conducted as you used to be. When you were younger, you had a greater sense of prosperity. Now, however, that you are grown up, though a stranger to look at you would take you for a son of a well-to-do father as far as size and good looks go. Your conduct is by no means what it should be. What all of this disturbance that has been going on, and how came you to allow a stranger to be so disgracefully ill-treated? What would have happened if he had suffered serious injury while supplying on our house? Surely this would have been very discreditable to you. Take a sip. I will keep going. I'm gonna keep going. I want to get to 20 at least. I am not surprised, my dear mother, at your displeasure, replied Telemachus. I understand all about it, and I know when things are not as they should be, which I could not do when I was younger. I cannot, however, behave with perfect prosperity at all times. First one, that another of these wicked people here keeps driving me out of my mind, and I have no one to stand by me. After all, however, this fight between Arius and the stranger did not turn out as the suitors meant it to do, for the stranger got the best of it. I wish Father Zeus, Athena, and Apollo would break the neck of every one of those wooers of yours, some inside the house and some out. I wish they might all be limp as Arius is over yonder in the gate of our court. See how he nods his head like a drunken man? He has had such a thrashing that he cannot stand on his feet nor get back to his home, whether that may be, for he has no strength left in him. Thus they did converse. Eurymachus then came up and said, Queen Penelope, daughter of Eurycus, if all the Aegeans and Aegean Argos would see you at this moment, you would have still more suitors in your house by tomorrow morning, for you are the most admirable woman in the whole world, as both regards as personal beauty and strength of understanding. To this Penelope replied, Eurymachus, heaven robbed me of my beauty, whether of face or figure, when the Argives set sail for Troy, and my dear husband with them. If he were to return and look after my affairs, I should be more respected and show a better presence to the world. As it is, I am oppressed with care and with the afflictions which heaven has seen fit to heap upon me. My husband foresaw it all, and when he was leaving home, he took my right wrist in his hand. Wife, he said, we shall not all of us come safe home from Troy, for the Trojans fight well with both bow and spear. They're excellent also at fighting from chariots, and nothing decides the issue of a fight sooner than this. I know not, therefore, whether heaven will send me back to you, or whether I may not fall over there at Troy. In the meantime, you do look after things here. Take care of my father and mother as at present, and even more so during my absence. But when you see our son growing a beard, then marry whom you will, and leave this your present home. This is what he said, and now it's all coming true. A night will come, and shall have to yield myself to a marriage which I detest, for Zeus has taken from me all hope of happiness. This further grief, moreover, cuts me to the very heart. You suitors are not wooing for me after a custom of my country. When men are courting a woman who they think will be a good wife to them, and who is of noble birth, and when they are reached trying to win for her herself, they usually bring oxen and sheep to feast the friends of the lady, and they make her magnificent presents instead of eating up other people's property without paying for it. This is what she said, and Odysseus was glad when he heard her to get presents out of the suitors, and flattering them with fair words, which he knew she did not mean. Then Antinous said, Queen Penelope, daughter of Eurycus, take as many presents as you please from my one who will give them to you. It is not well to refuse a present, but we will not go about your business, nor stir from where we are, till you have married the best man among us, whoever that he may be. The others applauded that what Antinous had said, and each one sent his servant to bring his present. Antinous' man returned with a large and lovely dress with the most exquisitely embroidered. It had 12 beautifully made brooch pins of pure gold in which to fasten it. Eurymachus immediately brought her a magnificent chain of gold and amber beads that gleamed like sunlight. Eurydamas' 2 men returned with some earrings fashionably into 3 brilliant pendants which glistened most beautifully, while King Pisander, son of Polyctor, gave her the necklace of the rarest workmanship, and everyone else brought her a beautiful present of some kind. Then the queen went back to her room upstairs, and her maids brought the presents after her. Meanwhile, the suitors took to singing and dancing and stayed until evening came. They danced and sang until it grew dark, and then they brought in the free braziers to give light, and piled them up with chopped firewood and very old and dry, and they lit torches from them, which the maids held up turn about. Then Odysseus said, Maids, servants of Odysseus, who has so long been absent, go to the queen inside of the house, sit with her and amuse her, or spin, or pick wool. I will hold the light for all these people. They may stay until morning, but shall not beat me, for I can stand a great deal." The maids looked at one another and laughed, while the pretty Melanitheo began to gibe at him contemptuously. She was daughter to Doilus, but she had been brought up by Penelope, who used to give her toys to play with and looked after her when she was a child. But in spite of all this, she showed no consideration for the sorrows of her mistress, and used misconduct herself with Eurymachus, with whom she was in love. "Oh no, poor wretch," said he. Are you gone clean out of your mind? Go and sleep in some smithy or place of public gossips instead of chattering here. Are you not ashamed of opening your mouth before your betters? So many of them too? Has the wine been getting into your head, or do you always babble in this way? You seem to have lost your wits because you beat the tramp Irius, and take care what a better... Oh my gosh. And take care that a better man, that he does not come and cool you... No. And cuddle you about the head until he pack your bleeding out of the house. "Vixen," replied Odysseus, "I will go and tell Telemachus what you have been saying, and he will have you torn limb from limb." With these words he scared the women, and they went off to the body of the house. They trembled over, for they thought he would do what he said. But Odysseus took his stand near the burning braziers, holding up torches and looking at the people, brooding on wild things that should surely come to pass. But Athena could not let the suitors for one moment cease their Did I say Athena? I think. Wait, did I miss anything? I have water, don't worry, I'll take a water. Wholesome pain, yeah. But Athena would not let the suitors for one moment cease their insolence, for she wanted Odysseus to become even more bitter against them. She therefore sent Eurymachus, son of Polybus, on to gibe at him, which made the others laugh. "Listen to me," said he, "you suitors of Queen Penelope, and I may speak even though I am minded. It is not nothing that this man has come to the house of Odysseus. I believe the light has not been coming from the torches, but from his own head, for his hair is all gone, every bit of it." Then turning to Odysseus, he said, "Stranger, will you work as a servant if I sent you to the wolds, and see that you are well paid? Can you build a stone fence or plant trees? I'll have you fed all year round, and will find you in shoes and clothing. Will you go then? Not for you have gone into bad ways and not want to work. You had rather fill your belly by going around the country begging." "Eurymachus," answered Odysseus, "if you are able to work against one another in the early summer when the days are their longest, give me a good scythe, and take another yourself, and let us see which will last longer, or more the stronger from dawn till dark, when the mowing grass is about. Or if you will plow against me, let us take a yoke of tawny oxen, well matted, and great strength and endurance. Turn me into a 4-acre field, and see whether you or I can drive the straighter furrow. If again war to break out this day, give me a shield and a couple of spears and a helmet fitting well upon my temples. You will find me foremost in the fray, and you will cease your gibes about my belly. You are insolent and cruel, and think yourself a great man because you live in a little world and not a bad one. If Odysseus comes to his own again, the doors of his house are wide, but you will find them narrow when you try to fly through them." Eurymachus was furious at all this. He scowled at him and cried, "You wretch, you will soon pay for daring say such things to me in public too. Has the wine been getting into your head, or you always babble in this way?" Oh, this is the same thing. "You seem to have lost your wits because you beat the tramp Irius." With this he caught hold of a footstool, but Odysseus sought protection at the knees of Phineus and Deuterum, for he was afraid. The stool hit the cupbearer on his right hand and knocked him down. The man fell with a cry flat on his back, and his wine jug fell ringing to the ground. The suitors in the covered cloister were now in an uproar, and one would turn towards his neighbor, saying, "I wish the stranger had gone somewhere else. Bad luck to him, for all the trouble he gives us. We cannot permit such disturbance without a beggar. If such ill counsels are to prevail, we shall have no more pleasure at our banquet." On this, Telemachus came forward and said, "Sirs, are you mad? Can you not carry your meat and your liquor decently? Some evil spirit has possessed you. I do not wish to drive any of you away, but you had your suppers, and the sooner you all go home to bed, the better." The suitors bit their lips and marveled at the boldness of his speech, but Amphineus, the son of Neasus, who was son to Erigeus, good lord, they went and told the freaking like, family tree. He said, "Do not let us take offense. It is reasonable, so let us make no answer. Neither let us do violence the stranger, nor any of Ulysses, not Ulysses, I meant to say Odysseus' servants. Let the cupbearer go around with the drink offerings, that we may make them go home into our rest. As for the stranger, let us leave Telemachus and deal with him, for it is his house that he has come." Thus he did speak, and his saying pleased him well. So Melius and of Deuterum, servant to Amphitheus, mixed him a bowl of wine and water and handed it around to each of them man by man, whereon they made their drink offerings to the blessed gods. Then when they made their drink offerings and drunk, each one was he was minded, they took their several ways of each of them to his own abode. Good lord. Alright. We're on book 19 now. We got, how many pages left? 702. Okay, we can do this, guys. We can make it. 15 pages left. Do you think we can do it? Oh, hi! Hi, Rose! You just came at a worse time because I was just reading one more book and then we're finished with the stream, but we're slowly making our way in the book where Odysseus is starting to come back to Ithaca. Ain't that fun? Ain't that swell? I'm taking a small break before I read the last book. I really want to. I wish you could stop, but I can make 15 pages. I can keep going. I will keep going. It's fine. I'll keep going. I want to at least get to 20, get a little chunk. So book 19. The caption says underneath here, it says, Telemachus and Odysseus removed the armor. Odysseus interviews Penelope. Euryclea watches his feet and recognizes the scar on his leg. And Penelope tells her dream to Odysseus. Oh, this is going to be a sweet chapter. This is going to be sweet. Odysseus was left in the closeteer, pondering on what he means, whereby with Athena's help, he might be able to kill the suitors. Presently he said to Telemachus, Telemachus, we must get the armor together to take it down inside. Make some excuse when the suitors ask you why you have removed it. Say you have taken it to be out of the way of the smoke. It is much no longer as it was when Odysseus went away, but has become soiled and bergamot with soot. Add to this more particularly that you were afraid Zeus would send upon them to quarrel over their wine, and they have made do each other some harm which they disgrace both banquet and wooing, for the sight of arms sometimes tempts people to use them. Telemachus approved of what his father had said, so he called the nurse Euryclea and said, Nurse, shut the women up in their room while I take the armor that my father left behind him down to the storeroom. No one looks after it now that my father is gone, and all it has got all smirched without soot running down during my own boyhood. I want to take it down there where the smoke cannot reach it. I wish, child, answered Euryclea, that you would take the management of the house into your own hands altogether and look after the property yourself. But who is to go with you and light to you to your storeroom? The maidservant would have done so, but you would have not let them. I do have the spirit of Odysseus. I'll keep going. I will not let you get in my way. My brother's white. It's the stranger, said Telemachus. Shall me grow a light when people eat my bread and must earn it, no matter what they come from? Euryclea did what she was told and bolted the women inside their room. Then Odysseus made his son made all the haste to take the helmet, shields, and spears inside, and Athena went before them with a gold lamp in her hand and shed a soft and bright radiance. Whereon Telemachus said, Father, my eyes behold the great marvel. The walls with the rafters, crossbeams, and supports on which they rest are all aglow with a flaming fire. Surely there is some god here who has come down from heaven. Hush, said Odysseus. Hold your peace and ask no questions, for this is the manner of the gods. Get you to your bed and leave me here to talk with your mother and the maids. Your mother in her grief would ask me all sorts of questions. On this, Telemachus went by torchlight to the other side of the inner court, to the room which he always slept. There he laid in bed until morning, while Odysseus was left in the cloister pondering on the means whereby Athena's help might be able to kill the suitors. Then Penelope came down from her room looking like Aphrodite or Artemis, that's Venus or Diana, as they set her a seat and laid in scrolls of silver and ivory near the fire in her accustomed place. It has been made by Eclymius and had a footstool all in one piece with the seat itself, and it was covered with a thick fleece. On this she now sat, and the maids came from the woman's room to join her. They set about removing the tables at which the wicked suitors had been dining, and took away the bread that was left, with the cups from which they had drunk. They emptied the embers out of the braziers, and heaped much wood upon them to give both light and heat. But Melanthion began to rail at Odysseus a second time and said, Stranger, do you mean to plague by hanging about the house and all night and spying upon the women? Be off, you wretch, outside, and eat your supper there, and you shall be driven out with a firebrand. Odysseus has scowled at her and answered, My good woman, why should you be so angry with me? Is it because I'm not clean and my clothes are all in rags, and because I'm obliged to go begging about after the manner of tramps and beggars generally? I too was a rich man once. You know what this reminds me of? Crazy? I was crazy once. They've put me in a room with rats. That's what it feels like. Sorry, I'm like checking the chat. Alright. Keep going. Keep going. I too was a rich man once. I had such a fine house of my own. In those days, I gave to many a tramp as I am now. I am, no matter how we might nor be who we wanted. I had any number of servants and all the other things which people have to live well and accounted wealthy, but it pleased Zeus to take all away from me. Therefore, woman, beware lest you too come to lose that pride and place in which you now want in all your fellows. Have a care lest you get out of favor with your mistress, and lest Odysseus should come home, for there is still a chance he may do so. Moreover, though he may be dead as you think he is, yet by Apollo's will he has left a son behind him, Telemachus, who will note anything done amiss by the maids in the house, for he is now no longer in his boyhood. Penelope heard what he was saying and scolded the maid. Impudent baggage, said she, I see how you dumbly are behaving, and you shall smart for it. You knew perfectly well, for I told you myself that I was going to see the stranger and ask him about my husband, for whose sake I am such continual sorrow. Then she said to her waiting woman, Eurynome, bring me a seat and fleece upon it, for the stranger to sit upon while he tells his story and listens to what I have to say. I wish to ask him some questions. Eurynome brought the seat at once and set a fleece upon it, and as soon as Odysseus had sat down, Penelope began by saying, Stranger, I shall first ask you, who and whence are you? Tell me of your town and your parents. Oh, man. That line is used a lot. Yeah, it really is. Odysseus is like, I have to rehearse this all the time. Madam, answered Odysseus, who on the face of the whole earth can dare to chide with you? Your fame reaches the firmament of heaven itself. You're like some blameless king who upholds righteousness as the monarch over a great and valiant nation. The earth yields it as wheat and barley. The trees are loaded with fruit. The ewes bring forth lambs, and the sea downs with fish with reason of his virtues. And his people do good deeds under him. Nevertheless, as I sit here in your house, ask me some other question, and do not seek to know my race and family, or you will recall memories that will yet more increase my sorrow. I am full of heaviness, but I ought not to sit weeping and wailing in another person's house. Nor is it well to be thus grieving continually. I shall have one of the servants, or even yourself, complaining of me, and saying that my eyes swim with tears because I am heavy with wine. Then Penelope answered, Stranger, heaven robbed me of all beauty, whether of face or figure, and where the Argives set sail for Troy, and my dear husband with them. If you were to return and look after my affairs, I should be both more respected and should show a better presence to the world. As it is, I am oppressed with care, and with the afflictions of which heaven has seen fit to heap upon me. The chiefs from all of our islands, Dutchelum, Sam, Zachymus, and also Ithaca itself, are wooing against my will and are wasting my estate. I can therefore show no attention to strangers, nor suppliance, nor to people who say they are skilled artisans, but not arsons, but I am all the time broken hearted about Odysseus. They want me to marry again at once, and I have to invent stratagems in order to deceive them. In the first place, heaven put it in my mind to set up a great temper frame in my room and begin working upon an enormous piece of fine needlework. Then I said to them, Sweethearts, Odysseus is indeed dead. Still, do not press me to marry again immediately. Wait, for I would not have my skill in the needlework perish unrecorded, till I have finished making a pall for the hero Latres, to be ready against the time when death shall take him. He's very rich, and the women of the place will talk if he is laid out without a pall. This is what I said, and they assented, whereon I used to keep working on my great web all day long, but at night I would unpick the stitches again by the torchlight. I fooled them in this way for 3 years without their finding out, but as time wore on, I was now in my 4th year, and the wanting of moons and many days have been accomplished. For those good-for-nothing hussies my maids betrayed me to the suitors, who broke in upon me and caught me, and they were very angry with me. So I was forced to finish my work whether I would or no. Oh no, that's sad. I guess back in this time you had to make it clear you were a witch once. Yeah, it makes sense because it's probably part of like identity reasons. Like you had to make sure people were like, you know. So this is where that line, like where the challenge. Cause every night I unthread all the work I've done. Cause I rather lie than allow them they think they won. Though I never thought that I'd resort to this. Just know I'll be here buying you. Okay, you guys get the reference. And now I do not see how I can find my further shift getting out of this marriage. My parents are putting great pressure upon me, and my son chafes at the ravages the suitors are making upon his estate. For now he is old enough to understand all about it, and is perfectly able to look after his own affairs, for heaven has blessed him with an excellent disposition. Still, notwithstanding all this, tell me who you are and where you're from. For you must have a father and a mother of some sort. You cannot be the son of an oak or of a rock. Queen behavior. Literally, Penelope's great. Yeah, she's a great character. Then Odysseus answered, Madam, wife of Odysseus, since you persist in asking me about my family, I will answer, no matter what it costs me. People must expect to be pained whenever they have been exiles as long as I have, and suffered as much as long as many peoples. Nevertheless, As regards to your question, I will tell you all you ask. There's a fair and fruitful island in the mid-ocean called Crete. Yay, Crete mentioned! It's thickly peopled and there are 90 cities in it. 90? The people can speak many different languages which overlap one another. For there is Aegeans, brave, and Egyptians, Dorians of third-fold race, and the noble Zaki. There's a great town there, Synergius, where Minos reigned for who every 9 years had a conference with Zeus himself. Minos was father to Deucalion, whose son I am, for Deucalion had 2 sons, Idomeneus and myself. Idomeneus sailed for Troy, and I am the younger, called Aethon. My brother, however, was at once the older and more valiant of the 2, hence was in Crete, and I saw Odysseus that showed him hospitality, for the winds took him there, and he was on his way to Troy, carrying him out of his course from Cape Malea, and leaving him in Amnius off the Cape of Eleuthia, where the harbors are difficult to enter. He could hardly find shelter from the winds that were then raging. As soon as he got there, he went into the town and asked for Idomeneus, these fucking words, names, claiming to be his old and valued friend, but Idomeneus had already set sail for Troy some 10 or 12 days earlier, so I took him to my own house and showed him every kind of hospitality. For I had abundance of everything. Moreover, I fed the men who were with him in barely meal from the public store, and got subscriptions of wine and oxen for them to sacrifice to their heart's content. They stayed with me for 12 days, and there was a gale blowing from the north so strong that one can hardly keep 1 feet on land. I suppose some unfriendly god had raised it for them, but on the 13th day the wind dropped, and they got away. Many a plausible tale did Odysseus tell her, and Penelope wept as she listened, for her heart was melted. As the snow wastes upon the mountain tops when the winds from the southeast and the west have breathed upon it and thawed until the rivers run bank full with water, even so did her cheeks overflow with tears for the husband who was all the time sitting by her side. Oh my god! Like, he's right there! He's right there! He's right there! Ah, dude. The man you've been waiting for 20 years is right. Oh, man. I think some people in Greece would disagree about being related to oak or trees or rocks. Yeah. I mean, with how many people are turned into plants and stuff, I wouldn't be surprised, yeah. I mean, given the, like, the Medusa story, because of the stone stuff, right? My heart is, yeah, because, like, her husband's right there, it's like, my heart, I'm gonna cry. Odysseus felt for her and was sorry for her, but he kept his eyes as hard as horn or iron, without letting him so much as quiver. So cunningly he did restrain his tears. Then when she relieved herself by weeping, she turned to him again and said, "Now, stranger, I shall put you to the test and see whether or no you really did entertain my husband and his men, as you say you did. Tell me then how he was dressed and what kind of man he was to look at." And so also with his companions. "Madam," said Odysseus, "it is such a long time ago that I can hardly say. 20 years are come and gone since he left my home and went elsewhere." Well, that's the other word for elsewhere. My gosh, you just want to grab her and turn her face out and tell her what exactly. I'm like, honey, I'm home. I finally got the milk. I came back. Guys, we all need a man like Odysseus. I want a husband like him, where he's just dedicated enough to take this long to get back to me. It'd be kind of fun. And sad, but left elsewhere, but I will tell you as well as I can recollect. Odysseus wore a mantle of purple wool, double-lined, and it was fastened by a gold brooch between two catches for the pin. On the face of this, there was a device that showed a dog holding a spotted fawn between his forepaws and watching it as it lay panting on the ground. Everyone marveled at the way that which these things had been done in gold. The dog looking at the fawn and strangling it while the fawn was struggling convulsively to escape. As for the shirt that he wore next to his skin, it was so soft it fitted him like the skin of an onion, and it glistened in the sunlight and to the admiration of all the women who beheld it. Furthermore, I say, and lay my saying at your heart, I do not know whether Odysseus wore these clothes when he left home, or whether of his companions had give them to him while he was on voyage, or possibly someone at whose house he was staying made him a present of them, for he was a man of many friends and a few equals among the Achaeans. I myself gave him a sort of bronze and beautiful purple mantle, double-lined with a shirt that went down to his feet, and I sent him on board with the ship with every mark of honor. He had a servant with him, a little older than himself, and I can tell you what he was like. His shoulders were hunched, and he was dark, and he had thick curly hair. His name was Eurybates, and Odysseus treated him with greater familiarity than he did with the others, as being the most like him, mind him itself. Is it supposed to be Eurylochus? I think. He brought the milk, ain't that the truth? Yes, I want a man like him too. I know! Odysseus is like a loyal. This is like a man you want. Is it Eurybates or is it Eurylochus? Hey Siri. What's Eurybates in the Odyssey?
Do you want me to use ChatGPT to answer that?
No. Not now. I mean, I would, but... I mean, it's probably better than just trying to talk to frickin' Siri, but... Hey Siri. What was the Roman translation for Eurylochus in the Odyssey?
Do you want me to use ChatGPT to answer that?
God, okay, fine. This is why I love Jesse so much. I know! This is why... Dude, Odysseus is literally like... Jesse, I'm telling you. Screw off, ChatGPT. Well, it's not all bad. I know AI is like, oh my god, the bad thing, but it has its perks, you know? It's not great with, like, you know, content creation because it's all fucking slop, but, like, in terms of research and stuff, it's sometimes useful because it does pull up a lot of, like, sources and things. Like, I will give it that, though. Like, you can't go wrong with that. Like, if you need to find, like, sources for a specific topic, and if you prompt it correctly, this is coming from someone who does it, like, all the time, alright? Like, it's great in that regard. Like, I love it for that. Like, it saves you as, like... Yeah, exactly. It should be used as a tool. That's the whole point of it. People are just, like, taking it a step further because that's what people do. It sucks. Because it's, like... It tarnishes, like... Because all the crap that's being talked about is how bad it is, but it's, like... If it's a tool, it's great, you know? Like, I love it for that reason, because it's... The way that it's used, it's actually supposed to be used. So... That's why I have, like, a soft spot for it, in a way, because it's helpful in that regard. And I know I'm sorry, I'm groped into this. I know, again, AI has it, again, I know AI should, it's an inevitable thing, as I've been told. It's an inevitable thing that's going to definitely, like, change the trajectory of things, right? That's how it was with Apple and their devices. It's gonna change people's lives. It's inevitable. It's just how it goes with different, like, steps of eras of history, right? But like I have a soft spot for it, like I said, because it's great as a tool, and that's how it should be used. But it's just unfortunate that people, but it's gonna happen. Oh yeah, AR with art. Yeah, I don't know why people do that. Yeah, art's great. If you want to have like an outline of something, like have it. Like, for example, if you need like a specific like pose, I'll give you some examples. It's not great, but like if you need something right away, that I do like the use of that. As that's a controversial take, but again, reiterating the point that it should be used as a tool. But like passing it off as your own, it's like no, you can use it for like drawing it yourself. Like sometimes I get an idea, like a visual I need, and then draw it, and I'm like, okay, I see where this is, like, that's fine. Like, to me, that's where the line should be drawn. No pun intended. But yeah, that's my viewpoint. It's understandable, because at least, exactly, like, I have no problem with drawing my two hands with a reference. Like, people have been, even before AI was like a big fucking thing, people have been drawing references from like images like years. Like, that's been a thing for a long time. This is just another way to get around that. It's just, whew. I'm sorry, I don't mean to like go into a long tangent about it. But that's kind of where my stand is on it. Like, I love it for a tool. It's great. But, like, in terms of what people are doing with it, it's like, ugh. It's just, no. Like, you see where I'm kind of, like, where my feelings about it? Like, I'm in the middle about it. There's a gray area I'm in for it. Because I will say, it helps me. As with ADHD, where my mind's kind of all over the place, it helps me outline things too. And I'm like, okay, I can add this here, see where this is going, where I'm missing, this is what I'm missing here. Do I need to add anything in this area? Does this make sense in this plot? Like, it helps me out a lot with that, because my mind's all fucking crazy, and I'm like, okay, I need to slow down. I need something to, like, list shit out for me. And it makes the process go a little faster. Pick up pencil for once, whichever. Yeah. Like, I love using it for, again, I love using it for poses. Like, if I need to find a specific that I can't find anywhere else, or like search up poses. Like, again, tool, but it's like people just but it's, again, like I said, it's going to happen because people are going to push it further, because that's what we do. We do fucking things with things that we push it over the limit, because that's who we are. It's just human nature at its best. Well, not at best. I shouldn't say that. I meant to say, like, that's just part of human nature. Unfortunately, but, what can you do? We were created that way. Or if you're, you don't believe in God, I mean, we're just made weird. But, again, it's inevitable. It's like you can't really do much with it. It's bound to happen with all this shit that's going on with it. It's it's like the 2020s are going to be remembered for two things. One, COVID, and AI. That's going to be the two things in the history books that people are going to remember. Yeah, we evolved. I'm just saying that for my sake, because I grew up and still kind of have those Christian morals. And it's fine if you're not. Like, everyone has their beliefs. It's like, you don't have to, like, it's just what we all. But the point still stands. Even whatever you believe, like, human nature's human nature. It's like, Okay, yeah, I'm still going off a tangent. I need to read more. This would be, like, interesting for a live stream. Let me check how many pages I got. Nine. Yeah. Yeah, Christians, it's hard, like, I feel like whenever I tell that to people, like, when I have, like, the morality thing of things, people are like, oh, God, like, I'm afraid to do that, but I'm glad that that's why I go to a college in Florida, because this was one of the, you know, one of the schools that were, like, pertaining what I was looking for, so I was like, yeah, I'll meet cool people here. This is why I love your live streams. Yeah, because I go on a tangent, because I have a middle grade about everything. Like, I understand, like, that's mostly what I believe in. Like, I understand where people come from, like, about some things, you know, I understand that, and then I go and I see the other people's kind of side, whoa, voice crack, other kind of get collective of everything, and I'm like, okay. No, I'm not one of those people that, like, shove down people, like, I'm not, I don't like how people fucking do that, where they kind of, I know I'm swearing and I'm not supposed, but I'm like, dude, I don't think God's gonna resent me for that, but, like, I mean, he might, but I don't know, but, like, no, I'm not, like, one of those people that, like, shove scripture or whatever. I'm not, like, a super religious person. I don't even go to church, bro. I know that's, like, not really I'm not a big fan of church regardless. Like, as long as I read scripture and I'm not an asshole to people and whatever, I'm fine. Like, that should be okay. Yeah, I know. Who cares if I swear? Like, I don't know. But yeah, anyway, sorry, I'm getting off topic here. I need to read 9 fucking pages, but yeah, I would love to yap, like, just to do shit. Just to talk about stuff, you know? I know, I try not to do that, because I know it's we're living in a time where, like, it's very sensitive to do, like, it's hard to, but it's like, I don't know. It's kind of like gathering around with friends and you're like, okay, what the fuck's happening right now? Okay, yeah, tangent over, I should stop. Alright. Well, not finish the book, but finish the chapter, they're called books, but neither does my family. Yeah, it's me too. Where was I? Okay. Penelope was moved still more deeply as she heard the indisputable proofs that Odysseus laid before her, and when she had again found relief in tears, she said to him, "Stranger, I was already disposed to pity you, but henceforth you shall be honored and made welcome into my house. It was who I gave Odysseus the clothes you speak of. I took them out of the storeroom and folded them myself. And then I gave him also the gold brooch to wear as an ornament. Alas, I shall never welcome home again. It was by an ill fate that he never ever set out for the detested city, whose very name I cannot bring myself even to mention." Then Odysseus answered, "Madam, wife of Odysseus, do not disfigure yourself further by grieving thus bitterly for your loss, though I can hardly blame you for doing so. A woman who has loved her husband and borne him with children would naturally be grieved at losing him, even though he were still a worse man than Odysseus, who they say was like a god. Still, cease your tears and listen to what I can tell you. I will hide nothing from you, and can say with perfect truth that I have lately heard of Odysseus as being alive on his way home. He is among the Theoprosians, and is bringing back much valuable treasure that he has begged from one and another of them. But this ship and all its crew were lost as they were leaving the Tridesian island, for Zeus and the sun god were angry with him because his men had slaughtered the sun god's cattle." Yep, that's Eurylochus. Eurylochus. Odysseus. Okay. and they were all drowned to a man. But Odysseus stuck to the keel of the ship and was drifted on to the land of the Phoenicians, who were near kin of his to the immortals, who had treated him as though he had been a god, giving him many presents and wishing him to escort him home safe and sound. Oh, remember that saga. In fact, Odysseus would have been there long ago. He had not have thought better to go from land to land, gathering wool, for there is no man living who is widely as he is. Who is so wily he is, there is no one who can compare with him. Phaeton, king of the Thesprotians, told me all this, and he swore to me, make drink offerings in his house, and as he did so, that the ship was by the waterside, and the crew found who would take Odysseus to his own country. He set me off first, for there happened to be a Thesprotian ship sailing for the wheat-growing island of Judicium, but he showed me all the treasure Odysseus had got together, and he had enough lying in the house of Phaeton to keep his family for 10 generations. But the king said Odysseus had gone to Dodona, that he might learn Zeus's mind from the high oak tree, and know whether, after so long an absence, he should return to Ithaca openly or in secret. So you may know he is safe and will be here shortly. He is close at hand and cannot remain away from home much longer. Nevertheless, I will confirm my words with an oath, and call Zeus, will call Zeus, who is the first and mightiest of the gods who witness, and also the hearth of Odysseus, which I have now come, and now I have spoken, shall surely come to pass. Odysseus will return in this self same year. With the end of this moon and the beginning of the next, he will be here. May even be so, answered Penelope. If your words come true, you shall have such gifts and such goodwill from me that all who see you shall congratulate you. But I know that very well how it will be. Odysseus will not return, neither will you get your escort hence, for as surely as it was Odysseus ever was, there are no longer any such masters in the house as he was, to receive honorable strangers or further them onto their way home. And now, you maids, wash his feet for him and make him a bed on a couch with rugs and blankets, that he may be warm and be quiet until morning. Then at daybreak wash him and anoint him again, and that he may sit in the cloister and take his meals with Telemachus. It shall be worse for any of those hateful people who is uncivil to him. Like it or not, he shall have no more to do in this house. For now, sir, shall you be able to learn whether I'm For now, how, sir, shall you be able to learn whether or no I am superior to others of my sex, both in goodness and heart and understanding? If I let you dine in my cloisters, squalid and ill-clad, men live but for a little season. If they are hard and deal hardly, people wish them ill as long as they are alive, and speak contemptuously of them when they are dead. But he is gosh, but he that is righteous and deals righteously, the people tell him of his praise among all lands, and many shall call him blessed. Odysseus answered, Madam, I have 4 swung rugs and blankets from the day that I left the snowy ranges of Crete to go on shipboard. I will lie as I've lain on many sleepless night hitherto, night after night, as I passed in my rough sleeping place and waited for morning. Nor again do I like having my feet washed. I shall not let any of the young hussies about your house touch my feet. But if you have any old and respectable women who has gone through as much trouble as I have, I will allow her to wash them. To this Penelope said, My dear sir, of all the guests who have ever came to my house, there has never was one who spoken all things with such admirable property as you do. There happens to be in the house a most respectable old woman, the same who received my poor dear husband in her arms the night she was born, and nursed him in infancy. She's very feeble now, but she shall wash her feet. Come here, said she. Euryloca, watch your master's age mate. I suppose Odysseus's hands and feet are very much the same now as his are. for all the trouble ages are of dreadfully fast. On these words, the woman covered her face in her hands, and she began to weep, and made her lay it to mention, saying, My dear child, I cannot think whether I am to do with you. I am certain no one was ever more God-fearing than yourself, and yet Zeus hates you. No one in the whole world ever burned him more thigh bones, nor give him finer head of combs when you prayed to you might come to a green old age yourself, and see your son grow up to take after you. Yet you see how he prevented you alone from ever getting back to your own home. I have no doubt the women in some foreign palace with Odysseus has got to are gibing at him with all these sluts here have been gibing at you. I do not wonder that you're not choosing to let them wash you after the manner in which they have insulted you. I will wash your feet myself, gladly enough, as Penelope has said I am to do so. I will wash them both for Penelope's sake and of your own, for you have raised the most lively feelings of compassion in my mind, and let me say this moreover, which I pray to attend to. We have all kinds of strangers in distress come here and before now, but I make bold to say that no one has ever yet come who was so like an Odysseus in figure, voice, and feet as you are. Those who have seen us both, answered Odysseus, have always said that we were wonderfully like each other, and now you have noticed it too. Then the old woman took the cauldron in which she was going to wash his feet, and poured plenty of cold water into it, adding hot until the bath was warm enough. Odysseus sat by the fire, but ere long he turned away from the light, for it occurred to him that when the old woman had hold of his leg, she would recognize a certain scar which it bore, whereon the whole truth would come out. And indeed, as soon as she began washing her master, she at once knew the scar as one had given him by a wild boar when he was hunting on Mount Parnassus with his excellent grandfather Autoclodius, who was the most accomplished thief and perjurer in the whole world. And with the sons of Autoclodius, Hermes himself had endowed with his gift, for he used to burn the thigh bones of goats and kids to him, so he took pleasure in his companionship. It happened once that Autoclodius had gone to Ithaca and found the child of his daughter just born. As soon as he had done supper, Eurycleus set the infant upon his knees and said, Autoclodius, you must find a name for your grandson. You greatly wished that you might have one. Son-in-law and daughter, replied Autoclodius, call the child thus. I am highly displeased with the large number of people in one place or another, both men and women. So name the child Odysseus, or the child of anger. When he grows up and comes to visit his mother's family on Mount Parnassus, or where possessions lie, I'll make him a present and will send him on his way rejoicing. Odysseus, therefore, went to Parnassus to get the presents from Autoclodius, who, with his sons, shook hands with him and gave him welcome. His grandmother, Anthenia, threw her arms about him and kissed his head and both his beautiful eyes, while Autoclodius desired his sons to get dinner ready, and they did as he told them. They brought in a 5-year-old bull, flayed it, and made it ready to divide into joints. These they then cut carefully up to smaller pieces and spitted them. They roasted them sufficiently and served the portions around. Thus, through the livelong day of going down to the sun, they feasted, and every man had his full share, so that they were satisfied. But wow, whoops, it was looping back around the video. When the child of morning, rosy-fingered dawn appeared, the sons of Autoclodius went out with their hounds hunting, and Odysseus went too. They climbed the wooded slopes of Parnassus and soon reached his breezy upland valleys. But as the sun was beginning to beat upon the fields, fresh risen from the slow currents of Oceanus, they came to a mountain dell. The dogs were in front of searching for the tracks of the beast that they were chasing, and after them came the sons of Odyssey, among whom was Odysseus. Close behind the dogs he had a long spear in his hand. There was the lair of a huge boar among some thick brushwood, so dense that the wind and rain could not get through it, nor could the sun's rays pierce it, and the ground underneath lay thick with fallen leaves. The boar heard the noise of the men's feet, and the hounds baying every side of the huntsman came up to him, so he rushed from his lair, brazed the bristles on his neck, and stood at bay with fire flashing from his eyes. Odysseus was the first to raise his spear and try to drive it into the brute, but the boar was too quick for him and charged him sideways, ripping him above the knee with a gash that tore deep through it, and it did not reach the bone. As for the boar, Odysseus hit him on the right shoulder, and the point of the spear went right through him, so he fell groaning in the dust until the life went out of him. The sons of Odyssey busied themselves with the carcass of the boar and bound Odysseus' wound. Then, after saying a spell to stop the bleeding, they went home as fast as they could. But when Odyssey and his sons had thoroughly healed Odysseus, they made him some splendid presents and sent him back to Ithaca with much mutual goodwill. When he got back, his father and mother were rejoiced to see him, and asked him all about it, and how he had hurt himself to get the scar, so he told them about how the boar ripped him, and he was out hunting with Odyssey and his sons on Mount Parnidus. As soon as Euryclea got the scarred limb in her hands and had hold of it, she recognized it and dropped her foot at once. The leg fell into the bath, which ran out and overturned, so that all the water was split on the ground. Euryclea's eyes between her joy and her grief filled with tears, and she could not speak, but she caught Odysseus by the beard and said, "My dear child, I am sure you must be Odysseus himself, only I did not know you until I had actually touched and handled you." As she spoke, she looked towards Penelope, as though wanting to tell her that her dear husband was in the house, but Penelope was unable to look in that direction and observe what was going on, for Athena had diverted her attention. So Odysseus caught Euryclea by the throat with his right hand, and with his left drew closer to him, and said, "Nurse, do you wish to be the ruin of me? Will you nurse me at your own breast after 20 years of wandering, I am last come to my own home again? Since it's been borne upon you by heaven to recognize me, hold your tongue and not say a word about it to anyone else in the house. For if I tell you, it shall surely be that if heaven grants me to take the lives of the suitors, I will not spare you, though you are my own nurse, and when I am killing the other women." "My child," answered Euryloca, "what are you talking about? You know very well that nothing could either bend or break me. I can hold my tongue like a stone, like a piece of iron. Furthermore, let me say, my saying to your heart, when heaven delivered the suitors to your hand, I will give you a list of women in the house who have been ill-behaved and those who are guiltless." And Odysseus answered, "Nurse, you ought not to speak in that way. I am well able to form my own opinion about one and all of them. I hold your tongue and leave everything to heaven." As he said this, Euryloca left the cloister, fetched some more water, I say route, for the first time it all had been split, and when he had washed him and anointed him for the oil, Odysseus drew his seat nearer to the fire and warmed himself, and hid the scar under his rags. Then Penelope began talking to him and said, "Stranger, I should like to speak with you briefly about another matter. It is indeed nearly bedtime, for those at least who can sleep in spite of sorrow. As for myself, heaven has given me a life of such unmeasurable woe, that even by day when I am attending my duties and looking after the servants, I am still weeping and lamenting during the whole time. Then, when night comes, we all of us go to bed. I lie awake, thinking, and my heart goes to a prey that almost incessant and cruel tortures. As the dun nightingale, daughter of Panthreus, sings in early spring from her seat in the shadiest covered hid, with many a plaintive trill pours out the tale how by mishap she killed her own child, Iteus, the son of Zeus, it's closest. Even so does my mind toss and turn like it is uncertainty, whether I ought to say with my son here, and my safeguard, my substance, my bondsman, and the greatness of my house, out of regard to public opinion and the memory of my late husband, or whether it is not now time for me to go with the best of these suitors who are wooing me and making me such magnificent presents. As long as my son is still young and unable to understand, he would not hear of my leaving my husband's house, but now he is full grown and begs me and prays me to do so, being incensed in the way in which the suitors are eating up his property. Listen then to a dream that I have had and interpret for me if you can. I have 20 geese about the house that I eat mashed out of a trough, of which I am exceedingly fond. I dreamed that a great eagle came swooping down from a mountain and dug his curved beak into the neck of each of them until he had killed them all. Presently he soared off to the sky and left them lying dead about the yard, whereon I wept in my dream till all my mates gathered around me. So piteously I was grieving because the eagle had killed my geese. Then he came back again and perching on projecting rafter spoke to me with a human voice and told me to leave off crying. Be of good courage, he said, daughter of Idris. This is no dream, but a vision of good omen that shall surely come to pass. These geese are the suitors. I am no longer an eagle, but your own husband, who have come back to you and will bring these suitors' disgraceful end. On this I woke, and then I looked out and saw my geese through the trough, eating their mash as usual. This dream, madam, replied Odysseus, can admit but one of interpretation, for had not Odysseus himself told you how it shall be fulfilled? The death of the suitors is pretended, and not one single one of them will escape. And Penelope answered, Stranger, dreams are very curious and uncountable things, and they do not by any means invariably come true. There are two gates through which these unsubstantial fancies proceed. Well, the one of them is a horn, the other one ivory. Those had come through the gate of ivory are fatuous, but those from the gate of horn mean something to those that see them. I do not think, however, that my own dream came through the gate of horn, though I, my son, should be most thankful if it proves to have done so. Furthermore, I say, and I lay my saying to your heart, the coming dawn which will usher the ill-omented day that is to serve me from the house of Odysseus, for I am about to hold the tournament of axes. My husband used to set up 12 axes in the court, one in front of the other, and like stays upon which a ship is built. He then will go back from them and shoot an arrow through the whole 12. I shall make the suitors try to do the same thing, and whichever of them can string the bow most easily and send through his arrow through all the 12 axes, him I will follow and quit this house of my lawful husband, so goodly and so abounding in wealth. But even so, I doubt not that I shall remember it in my dreams. Then Odysseus answered, Madam, wife of Odysseus, you need not defer your tournament, for Odysseus will return ere they ever can string the bow. Handle it how they will, and send their arrows through the iron. To this Penelope said, As long, sir, as you will sit here and talk to me, I can have no desire to go to bed. Still, people cannot do permanently without sleep, and heaven has appointed us dwellers on earth a time for all things. I will therefore go upstairs and recline upon that couch which I have never ceased to flood with my tears from the day Odysseus set out for the city with a hateful name, Troy. She then went upstairs to her own room, not alone, but attended by her maidens, and when there she lamented her dear husband till Athena shed deep sleep over her eyelids. There we go. That's it for the reading, but whoever can string the old king's bow and shoot 12 axes cleanly will be the new king. Sit down at the throne, Penelope. Princess is queen. Time to be the man of the house. So yeah, that's it. For this stream anyway. Dude, I... Okay, what did I miss in the chat now? I'll be back at, Okay. Where are you going?
To paint. I'm gonna.
Oh, you're painting!
I'm gonna paint my cat.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Alright.
But missing something. Painting cups.
Have fun! Where is he? Where is he? Keep your head down, he's aiming for the torches. Our weapons, they're missing. It's you. Yeah, it's after 10 p.m. I should stop. But yeah, that was my roommate because she's gonna do a painting for her final. But, yeah. I really want to, do this more. I really would love to. But I'm gonna rest my voice. You can probably hear it in already that my voice is straining because I don't talk that much for this long. It's crazy. All right, I'm gonna stop. Yeah, have a good night. And see you tomorrow. You know what? Tomorrow, since I don't have anything to do until the 8th, which is my graduation, I'm gonna stream again. I think that would be fun. Alright, bye.